Welcome to the very first episode of Dad Ruins the Movie podcast. Appreciate you being here. I just wanted to apologize in advance for some of the audio issues and technical issues that are in this. We're still figuring it out, still trying to get it the way we want it to be, but there is a little bit of echo, and I'll try my best next time to eliminate that. But in the meantime, enjoy the episode. I appreciate it. All right, welcome everybody to the Dad Ruins the Movie podcast. I'm Greg, and this is
I'm Dad.
We talk about movies a shit ton, so we decided to start a podcast, and we're just gonna wing it. We're just not really have a setup or anything, or like a outline of any sort. We're just gonna talk about stuff.
First one.
Yeah, first one. We're gonna see where it goes. Got a couple things we want to talk about first. We went and saw F1, so I'll do my quick review first because he likes to spoil shit, obviously.
There will be spoilers.
Yes. So quick. I liked F1. Thought it was great. If you like Top Gun Maverick, you'll like F1. And there's not much to talk about unless you want to spoil it. But I like Joseph Kosinski, the director. He kind of does like the same type of stuff that did Top Gun Maverick. And All right, be ready for spoilers now. Go ahead.
Oh, come on. I'm not going to ruin it. We're not going to ruin it for everybody because I think what we'll do weekly going forward is we'll do new movies.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to ruin those. But when we talk about older movies, I'm totally going to ruin those. I'm going to destroy those movies because I don't think you can talk about the movie without getting into what happens in it to really talk about it. You can't just give this, 10,000 foot overview and no one knows what the hell's going on in the movie. So we're going to talk about it. But F1, I would agree with you. I got a huge Top Gun vibe out of that movie, but it was a good movie.
He doesn't like Top Gun Maverick.
And I don't like Top Gun Maverick. I'm not a big fan of Top Gun. I really loved F1. I thought maybe it was the race cars versus the planes. I don't know. It's a good movie. I'd recommend it. I mean, like I said, we're going to talk about summer movies and movies coming out or new movies coming out. That's a good summer movie. And that's kind of segue to where we're going today. But that's...
I saw on Twitter that it made 144 million opening weekend.
Really? Was that the yesterday or the pre-opening?
Yeah, what's today, Sunday? So it came out Thursday technically. So on Thursday, Friday, and then yesterday so far.
I guess it's nice to see a full theater. Theater. People haven't seen that in a long time. People clapping at the end. I don't know what they're clapping for. Nobody can.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
Nobody could hear it, but they liked it. So that was lots of laughs. Good movie. Good action in it. Good movie. Like you said, couple of things that were a little.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get into spoilers. So I liked the very beginning. I thought was strong open. That was cool. The race cars and everything. I wish that we saw more of what's his name? Shea Wiggum. His name.
Yeah, what was that about? Shea Wiggum is listed in there in the credits, and he's in there for a whole
2 seconds,
3 minutes. Might be in that movie, if that.
Yeah, he's good. I wish we got to see him more. That's a strong opening. It was cool. Kind of like set the tone.
Little Led Zeppelin playing in there.
I couldn't even tell you that. Music in it was great though.
That was Led Zeppelin, the song in the beginning race. Okay. That was Whole Lot of Love, Led Zeppelin.
I'm terrible with music.
You not knowing that.
Yeah. I mean, I recognize stuff. I just names. But
that's fine. Fine. We'll teach you.
Yeah, no, I won't learn.
I failed you as a father.
My brain is. I'm just gonna absorb movie stuff, not anything.
No.
Yeah, but no, I like all the music choices were really good. Hans Zimmer surprised me. I'm surprised that he was like. Did you notice that too? That he was the composer for that?
I did, but is he the old? Is he the Top Gun guy with the other movies? Did he do the other Kosinski movies, or did?
I don't think he did Top Gun. No. Well, actually, wait, no, maybe he did. I guess we can look it up.
There's your first chance to look something up.
Mouse out of the way.
Yeah, what did he do the films
or
the movie scores for?
Maverick.
Well, I would just look up Hans Zimmer and he'll tell you everything he's.
That's true. I could have done that. Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of
I thought that he did.
Okay. Sweet. I should have known that. I love Hans Zimmer. But anyways, his music was good, but most of the movie was like other people's music, soundtrack stuff.
Soundtrack stuff. Yeah, which is cool to do.
Good choices though. Every single one. I really added to it.
Yeah. If you like the the racing part was the big draw for me is because I'm an Indian F1 guy. I'm not much of a NASCAR guy. I don't really like the cars going in a circle, but when you look at F1's a little different. You
just got to put one extra turn in there. And
well, they're road courses. Did you not? I mean, they showed the road course.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, for each one. Yeah,
where they were. Those are all road courses.
The one where it was on like it's completely angled like that.
Yeah, we're gonna watch F1. It's probably on right now. Every Sunday it's on. So we're gonna have to watch F1.
I don't think I've ever seen it, but I know I've seen IndyCar.
I took you to the 500 and the Grand Prix, and you saw the Grand Prix with me, and that's more of a road course. The Indy 500 Speedway is the oval course, but a lot of those IndyCar tracks and F1 tracks are what they call road courses. They go through towns. Like once they do 500, or is it? I think a week after the 500, the Detroit Grand Prix goes on. And they shut down the streets in Detroit. They used to do the city of Detroit. They moved out to Belle Isle, which is an island right in the Detroit River. fact, they moved back into the city. The road course in there. So it's, if you've never been, we should go. I've been as a kid.
I'd love to. Yeah. Which one's the one with the motorcycles? Or like the crotch rocket looking things? I've been to one of those.
Yeah, you went. I can't remember the name of that. I can't remember the name of it,
Okay.
but that you went to the Speedway for that, right?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I can't
they
remember.
mentioned,
It's like something GP something, but it's the it's
okay.
not motocross. It's the racing bikes.
They mentioned IndyCar in the movie. You notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah, towards like
Yeah, they wanted to drag him into Indy. They, a lot of those guys will cross over. A lot of NASCAR's guys will race Indy. Indy will race NASCAR. F1 guys are, most of those are a lot of European races. Like Lewis Hamilton, the guy they were chasing. That's Lewis Hamilton's actually an F1 driver, so that's a real character that was in the movie.
We should look up how much Brad Pitt actually drove that car.
Yeah,
because I think that for
like
Tom Cruise, he actually flew, right?
That's Tom.
That's Tom Cruise.
That's Tom Cruise, and he likes to do everything.
Yeah, right. How much did Brad Pitt drive
for F1? Yeah,
drive for F1. There you go.
Somebody else in there.
Okay, it's all about how much he's making for the money. Apparently, he's paid $30 million, or for the movie. Apparently, he's made $30 million, so that's pretty nice.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it kind of
doesn't really say.
I mean, it
looks
kind of looked like he was driving that vehicle, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. There's certain. Well, we're in spoilers. You can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the movie, and he's driving that vehicle.
Yeah,
that looked like that was him.
That's for sure real. But a couple of the F1 spots, like, it's almost like I think for those parts, maybe they just let him go sort of fast down the runway, and they just had the camera on him. But then, like, obviously, like the crazy parts from behind is probably
the scenes from the driving view into the track. That's definitely just. I don't know. There may be somebody driving this, probably a professional driver driving that car. They're not going to pay him $30 million and then have him get killed on the track, because that's just not how it works. Unless you're Tom Cruise.
Unless you're Tom Cruise,
you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, the driving scenes are actually pretty intense. I liked them quite a bit.
No, I mean, all in all, that was a. What'd you give it star wise?
4 stars on Letterboxd.
Yeah, I would say 4.
Honestly, I think I was saying last night. First quarter, I was like 5 stars. I was like, this is pretty fucking awesome. Just give me Top Gun vibes.
What I don't.
Top Gun Maverick's a 5-star movie. Go ahead.
No, Top Gun Maverick's not a 5. No, this movie was better. The problem is going back to this movie goes to the small screen. Not going to be the same. Now that I've seen it in IMAX, and because I saw Top Gun Maverick on a plane, I didn't see it in it.
That's one time you've seen it?
Yeah, I didn't.
You have no
opinion.
opinion.
I wasn't going to go. I wasn't going to go to the theater and watch that movie.
Okay,
I didn't want
to be fair, I told you I didn't want to go either, because I don't like the first movie. But Morgan wanted to go for the beach scene and loved it. So I saw it in IMAX. The jets going over, the sound is insane. It's incredible. If they re-release it ever, because it is a $1 billion movie, if they ever re-release that,
theater,
you have to go. And yeah, we'll go to IMAX.
I have to watch Tom Cruise run through the forest at the end, like he runs in every movie, and he's running through the forest.
It's the best part.
Yeah. No.
Those, you go to YouTube, you look at montages of Tom Cruise running around. It's the best. I love it. Yeah, it's great. But yeah, no, for F1, it has it has its cheesy moments. Like the part where they start chanting was. What was that? Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, that was dumb. But
the part 2 where not the first time where he's walking down the track, which I said last night too. The second time where he showed back up again when Ruben thought he wasn't showing up. He's walking down the track again like a freaking Western or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. It's a feel-good movie. It's supposed to be, they build the team, and he meets that young guy, and the young guy, he's trying to mentor the young guy. Top Gun all over the.
Yeah, it's a lot of cliches we've seen.
He's the arrogant veteran trying to mentor the new guy, and then he did the team building and blah blah. I mean, I still liked it. Normally,
I know, same. Yeah,
I would look at a movie like that and think this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen, and I don't like this. But I really like that part of the movie. That's
why Top Gun works for me, because it has the same things. It's Tom Cruise with what's that actress's name? His love interest in Top Gun Maverick, Jennifer Connelly. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, it's corny. It's so corny. Yeah. But I like it.
Worse than the first one with Charlie in the first one. That's just.
I don't remember the first one, and I definitely didn't rewatch it after.
You got to watch the first one again. If I had to suffer through a Top Gun, it would. Got all those guys in there. I'm scared. You got Val Kilmer. You got all the guys in there.
Val Kilmer's pretty good, yeah.
And Anthony Edwards, Goose. Goose is the whole.
I don't know if I've ever seen him in anything else.
He was a TV guy. He was in ER for a year.
Oh, yeah, I didn't watch that.
He was in a couple of movies after that, but then he was on the show ER. He was an ER doctor. I mean, he lost his hair, so recognized. But yeah, he was a big TV star. But
okay.
not so much of the movies. I think he made a movie called Gotcha, which is a spy film or something. Some kid gets caught up in a spy thing, but I don't.
I want to see what he looks like.
Anthony
It's
Edwards?
like
Yeah,
Anthony.
he'll come up.
I almost typed in Gareth Edwards, which is he's doing the new Jurassic Park.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can get to the whole Jurassic Park some other day, but
Anthony Edwards. That's
no,
not him.
That's not him. There he is, right there.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, right there.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Is he like 62, 61,
Yeah,
62, something
right
like
there.
that? Yeah, there
He looks exactly the same.
Yeah, except he's got no hair.
Yeah, he's got no hair. Yeah.
But yeah, he was television and film. He was on that show ER for years. He was in the Revenge of the Nerds. He was one of the nerds in there.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High too.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Revenge of the Nerds, and then Top Gun. And yeah, he's famous for Goose. I mean,
There's Gotcha that you brought up.
yeah, Gotcha, which I remember that movie.
Okay.
And then some other
second one.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds. Pet Cemetery. I don't even know if I've seen the second one.
The second one, you're not missing anything.
Okay.
But yeah,
Interesting.
and then Dr. Mark Green on ER for years. Like George Clooney started there. He was in it. George Clooney got his start. Well, George Clooney was on Roseanne. Then he went to
He's
ER.
I heard George Clooney was in a ton of shows before he actually made.
But he made his name in ER, and then from there he went to movies.
Okay.
So when he left ER was never the same.
Which one's better, ER or Grey's Anatomy?
I'd lose,
You watch
I
both
would
of them,
lose
right?
my man card if I said Grey's
So
Anatomy. It's
you-
ER.
Hey,
is
you
way
watch it
better.
because of mom.
I watched
right?
it. Yes, I
Yeah,
watched
yeah,
it
that-
because of your mother. Yes.
Yeah, because of mom. Sure.
But no, ER. We used to watch ER, but I watched ER
Okay.
before that, so that was a good show. Until he left, and I'm like,
Anything else about F1?
No, see it. Go see it.
Yeah, go see
It's a
it.
great summer movie. That's what we're
Worth
gonna
it.
do.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a new movie every week that we do this. We're gonna do a new movie, and right now we're gonna segue into summer movies. But that's a good summer movie to kick off. You know, it's already summer, but
Yeah,
That's-
perfect summer movie.
that's
It's-
a good summer movie. Highly recommend
yeah,
it. I'd give it 4.2, and that's generous for me because I don't like to get that praise, but I liked that movie. I didn't think I'd like it that much.
It's
and
an
I did.
adrenaline rush for sure.
Yeah,
It's
I did. I
exhilarating.
liked it. And if you're a race car guy, you're gonna dig it. So yeah,
Okay. All right, summer movies.
summer movies.
So we kind of wrote a couple down,
We did.
but we'll just So Jaws, incredible.
50th anniversary.
50th anniversary is coming up.
Yeah.
Are they re-releasing it? Do you know?
What's that?
Jaws, do you know if they're re-releasing it?
I don't think
That'd be
so,
cool,
but I know
because-
it's all over television. There's like there's wine bottles, whiskey bottles that are all Jaws 50th anniversaries. Agaranset beer is celebrating it. Beer that they're drinking on the Orca.
I think it is coming back.
Oh, theatrical release.
Yeah. If all these ads stop popping up.
But where?
Here, Fandango. Check that out.
Okay.
In August.
August.
Yeah. Look, it'll be a 10 p.m. showing. Jeez. But yeah. Oh yeah, August 28th.
Where's this at?
Regal.
No kidding. But it's not till
So it's-
August.
Yeah, so it's gonna be in August, and so I wonder if there's gonna be any at AMC. Probably.
You've seen the whole film, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I saw it as a kid with you, and then as an adult, I've seen it like twice.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
one of the films that, like talked about, if I walk through a room and it's on, I'm going to sit down and watch it. I think when you were even little, your brother and I have watched it. I can't tell you how many times.
Well, I never saw the whole movie until like probably high school, because I would walk by and you'd be watching it and I just catch pieces. So like
Yeah.
I knew what happened. I knew about, spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Shark attacks him.
Yeah,
But
spoiler:
it's-
people get eaten by shark. But,
Yeah, but when it
but-
jumps up on the boat, that scene where it's like,
and
like,
eats
don't-
Captain Quint on the boat. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yeah.
But that's one of many. Like I said, one of my favorite movie Spielberg shots, and I sent that to you, was when Quint's on the pulpit of the ship, and that's that part of the ship that goes off the front,
Mhm.
where he's got the gun and he's shooting the barrels into the shark. And the shark disappears with the barrels, and the sun's going down behind him, and he turns around and he's staring at Brody and Cooper, and he's just got that grin on. That's one of my favorite movie scenes. I love that movie. There's so many scenes like that whether you love Spielberg or not,
Spielberg's amazing.
but that scene where he's sitting up there with the gun across the pulpit and he's got that look on his face. But if you know anything about the movie and Shaw himself and the whole history of how he behaved during the whole filming, and
You told me about that because wasn't that scene where they're all in like the cabin together and like I think they're all drinking together or something like that? Wasn't
well,
he
I don't
actually
know.
like
He was a huge drinker, so there's a lot of talk about. There's a whole him and Richard Dreyfuss did not get along, and there was feuding on set because that's how he treated him during him. He treated his character like that. I think a lot of that was just he did that so he would, because the character of Quint treated Hooper terribly on the boat, but the fact that Shaw was actually drunk a lot of the time.
just a Sheriff Hooper?
No, Hooper's the oceanologist.
Okay.
Richard Dreyfuss played Hooper, and
Yeah.
oh my God, I forgot his name. Just Roy Scheider.
That's the guy
is
that's the
Chief
main guy.
Brody.
Okay.
Yeah, he played Chief Brody. But yeah,
Okay.
then Robert Shaw was Quint.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then,
I'm better with all
he
this.
was. Yeah,
I know Richard Dreyfuss. I know that
Richard
much.
Dreyfuss, but yeah, no, Robert Shaw was. A lot of Americans don't know of Robert Shaw. A lot of he's from the English actor, so plus he died super young. But
Yeah. Was it you that told me that, or did I see it online then that he was actually drunk in a couple of those scenes?
it's all over. You can read it.
Those are rumors, or that actually true?
No,
That
he was a
just
heavy
wasted?
drinker, and he was.
Okay.
Yeah, he would get drunk a lot, and that whole scene, that whole speech was. They cut down because it was even a longer speech about the Indianapolis, and I think the rumor itself is that Shaw cut that speech down.
Okay.
But I can't remember.
Because he forgot his lines.
I can't remember who wrote the speech for that movie. There's a famous screenwriter, I think, who wrote that piece, and he cut it down because it was. But it's like
Okay.
a famous scene where they're talking about the USS Sharks, everybody. But yeah, I mean,
That is a cool scene.
that's a great
awesome.
scene. I mean, the whole.
I want to go to that re-release if we can,
yeah,
for sure, because
absolutely.
that'd be cool to see on the big screen.
I've only seen it 400 times, so it's another one. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great film. It's probably the summer film for me. I remember
Mm.
it. I was a kid at 75, scared the bejesus out of me.
Oh, yeah.
in the
That's.
movie, and it's a great.
I've never been scared of it. Like when people call Jaws a horror, I'm like,
No, it's.
but
I wouldn't.
I
call
do
it a horror
get it.
movie.
Like it's like that. I mean, John Williams helps with the soundtrack.
Yeah,
You know, like I almost did the noise,
kept
but
people. I mean, kept people out of the water, and
Mm.
so yeah, no, great. Probably in my mind the summer film, but it goes back, and I think that's probably. I could be wrong. People could disagree, but like the summer, there's blockbuster films are huge films, but then there's those summer blockbuster films, which I think what we're talking about now are very different. That to me is the first one. There may have been another one, but it's if you think
yeah, I agree. Like I don't even
think of
I
any
wasn't around then.
Spielberg
But,
film going forward. We'll get to E.T. in a little bit, but if you get to those movies, or Raiders of the Lost Ark, or any of those talk about, that's the first to me summer blockbuster film. And then every summer they've tried to top it ever since.
Can't.
Which you can't, but
There's
they've
some
also
pretty close,
they've
yeah.
also ruined a lot of movies because they try to go to these blockbuster movies. Like I'll give you Independence Day, which I don't think. No, it's not on
Yeah.
our list.
Is that the one with Will Smith?
Yeah, Will Smith.
Is it Aliens?
What's that?
Is that Aliens?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
Aliens.
okay.
I hate that film.
I saw it a long time ago. Like back like when I had we had cable and I would like scroll through and actually click on demand stuff.
Remade it.
Yeah, the second one too. I
Bill
think.
Pullman, Jeff. Oh my God, I forgot his name.
Goldblum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Goldblum.
Yeah.
Goldblum. Yeah. So there you go, Jeff Goldblum. Brain fart right there, but yeah,
His voice is unique.
yeah.
Like he's got a crazy voice.
But yeah, I mean, great movie. But to me, those types of movies are what ruined movies because then they tried to make these blockbusters every year. There's got to make this bigger blockbuster, and some of them are really bad. I don't. You might like Transformer film. I don't like Transformer film. They're all the same to me.
As a kid, I really, that's actually Transformers is a perfect summer movie. Yeah, but as a kid, I really, really enjoyed them. But then I rewatched them when I don't know, like out of high school a bit, and I was like, pretty fucking rough. and then,
these are awful.
yeah. But then, so I watched Transformers 2007, like the first one.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, I don't know what it was. But then I rewatched Revenge of the Fallen, which is like known to be like one of the worst ones, or apparently like Shia LaBeouf's worst ones. It has like terrible comedy, like stupid comedy. I laughed and I was like, it's not as bad as I thought. It's not as good as the first one. But then
LaBeouf. Like let's do a whole episode on Shia LaBeouf.
he's interesting
Yeah,
because
he's an
I think
interesting dude.
he's an incredible actor. I like him, even though apparently he's like a piece of shit in real life. But like,
But he knows,
those are
but he
rumors.
knows he's a piece of shit.
yeah,
No,
they're
he'll
just,
tell you he's a piece of shit.
But
He knows
he's-
it, but nobody's perfect.
yeah, and he's phenomenal. Like Peanut Butter Falcon was a huge surprise from him. His character in Fury,
Agree?
amazing. Yeah, I like him quite a bit. Lawless is good. I haven't seen that in a long time. I remember that.
Durant brothers. I mean, Tom Hardy, him together.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, we could do a whole episode. But
Yeah,
we will.
we should. Yeah. But yeah, so Transformers. I went and saw rewatched Dark of the Moon. I think that's the third one.
Okay.
Have you seen Dark of the Moon?
Didn't
It's-
Mark Wahlberg take over at some point?
That's not him because I've only seen one movie with Mark Wahlberg and I've never seen the rest
That's
of
the
his.
Last Night or something like that.
Last Night and Age of Extinction.
So no,
from
I
Mark
have
Wahlberg.
not seen all of them.
So, Dark of the Moon is Shia LaBeouf still.
Wait,
Mark,
let me interrupt you for a second. What's Bumblebee then? Is Bumblebee part of that whole
part of the
world?
universe, but it's Haley Steinfeld.
Oh no, okay.
Or Seinfeld. No, Steinfeld. There's a T in there. Yeah, it's her. But Bumblebee's okay. I think Bumblebee has John Cena.
Okay,
So, Dark of the Moon-
Thank you.
Say what?
I'll be skipping that one.
No. Dark of the Moon has it's the one where with I can't remember if it's the glasses. That might be the second one. There's one where he puts glasses on and he starts being all like weird, like jittery, and just like he has Tourette's or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm off topic. Anyways, so the third one is the one that was like an all-out like city scale fight,
Right.
and like I can't remember if Megatron gets murdered again. Spoiler. But
Spoiler.
yeah, I can't remember what happens. But anyways, if you watch that movie next to Avengers, they're the same movie, which I didn't realize until I rewatched Dark of the Moon, like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
And like, it's like the same thing. So like, the Transformers show up just like the Chitauri show up, whatever they're called in Avengers. Same type of fight, all scale battle. And honestly, like, I think Dark of the Moon was better than the first Transformers. Like, I liked it, and everybody hates it.
Maybe one day. But speaking of that, and you mentioned Avengers, so I'm going to retract what I said a little bit, because I talked about blockbusters, and every year they want to do blockbusters. So
Avengers is pretty damn
the,
good.
the exception to the rule on those for ruining movies are going to be the Batman franchise, not the Michael Keaton Batman, but you know who I'm talking about, Christian Bale.
Yep.
Okay, Batman.
Our Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman. There you
The
go.
Batman. And then the Avenger films.
Mhm.
Or that Marvel universe or whatever. Not all of them, but those are the exception to the rule because those are exceptional films. So, yes. But a lot of those other blockbusters.
That's an old man saying that. All right.
Yeah.
So that's not. Yeah.
Yeah, well, easy with the old man. But yeah, so those are good. And again, that's a whole nother episode well to talk about.
Yeah. Superhero.
Well,
All superhero
we will
stuff.
get there. We'll talk about those because we're going to talk about Batman, Iron Man, Spider-Man, all that good
Yeah.
stuff. And then the ones that really suck that we don't like.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them, I think, that are just what I'll call, it's like beans with a Mexican meal. It's just a filler.
Yeah.
There are filler
It's
movies out
filler
there
to get to the next thing.
and some of those are just awful, like what they did to Thor.
Do you like Ragnarok? I never asked you if you like Ragnarok. I like Ragnarok. I think it's the best Thor.
I kind of do. It's good. Yeah, there's
It's
some
goofy.
It's
but-
goofy, but it's not as goofy as Love and Thunder, which I did not like because when did it become the Marx Brothers? You know, and the reference you probably don't know. You know, Groucho, the Marx Brothers. It's like the Marx Brothers. Look it up. The Marx Brothers are not
That with
right,
a
not
K
right
or
now.
not? Okay.
No, you don't need to do it right now. But those are they're comedic team. They made zany film. It's kind of where it went for me. I did not like that. That's
Yeah,
that
there's
Tahiti. What's his name? Tahiti.
Taka Waititi.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
No.
Well, they got after I think
Stay in your lane.
he was supposed to do a Star Wars movie, and I believe
They shot that down.
they shot it down because of the way Love and Thunder performed.
Yeah, because it was.
I mean, Ragnarok. I thought his comedy worked, and like he did like the perfect amount of like the Marvel feel.
Did he direct Ragnarok?
He did, yeah. And so like he had the perfect
Oh, I
amount.
didn't know
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so like that's why like I thought Love Thunder was gonna be just as amazing because I thought he had like a good mix of his comedy with Marvel's like comedy and like brightness because it's not very dark most of the time,
Right.
and then like an actual compelling story. But then you went to this where like his comedy was too much. You had some parts that had like decent laughs,
Right.
but the story sucked and they wasted Bale because you got Christian Bale in there and you wasted him.
Yeah, Gore. Was it Gore?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gore the
yeah.
God Butcher.
So
Yeah.
We'll get to that. But
Yeah.
that's what my thoughts on the blockbuster. So we tried to, I think for the list we put together today, we tried to do some we considered to be summer movies that
Yeah,
are
some like a summer feeling.
summer feeling, but good summer movies
Yeah,
as
yeah.
opposed to let's just try to rake in as much money as we can as opposed to sacrificing quality. So
It does suck that they do that so much instead of giving us like a
they've
compelling.
done it for 50 years now, but that was the thing, and I think that's how movies change. It just again being a kid, I went, we talked about this yesterday. What was 75 was Jaws and 76 was Rocky.
Mhm.
And
And then you said 77 Star Wars.
Star Wars, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. We'll talk about later. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. All those, every year there was something different. And then I think to me the one that stands out in my head is, we're jumping a little bit ahead in the list, but E.T. is the perfect example of that. That sort of that blew it out of the universe right there. Is like every movie has to be as big as that movie was. And
You can't do that.
You can't.
Spielberg's got magic.
and you can't, yeah. And his movies, no matter.
I'll talk about Spielberg a bit later too.
Yeah, plus no matter the movie. So yeah, so basically on our list, I mean, well, I'm jumping ahead a little bit of the Sandlot because we can talk about baseball in a little bit because any baseball movie's got summer feeling to it.
Yeah,
It's a summer game.
Moneyball's kind of all over the place. I almost put Moneyball
I
on.
forgot about Moneyball, but I
I almo-
don't. Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's not really summer.
It's not a
It's kind of
summer
like
movie. It's a
yeah.
it's a baseball
Well,
movie, sort of.
back to F1 whenever he smacked that door and like when he got pissed off, and I was like, it's just like Moneyball. It's like the same animation type he did. He was like he smacked the door the same way when he's yelling.
Oh yeah, didn't think about that.
That's what I thought it was
That
Moneyball.
movie,
immediately.
I've seen that movie a million times too. So Yeah.
How many stars would you give it if you had Letterboxd?
Moneyball?
Yeah. Tell you what I have it at.
You didn't give it a 5, did you?
I upped it to 5, yeah.
You gave it a
After like the fourth or fifth watch, I upped it to 5 finally. I had it at 4 originally. I rewatched it and I was like, this movie is so good and it's about fucking baseball.
Oh, it's excellent.
Yeah, and so I upped it to 4.5.
I mean, try reading the book. The book is some of his book. I mean, they're very interesting books, and they make his movies translate well. Like The Big Short, same guy that wrote Moneyball wrote The Big Short.
I don't remember his name, but I remember like
Michael
learning
Lewis.
about that.
Michael Lewis is his name.
Okay.
The books that he's written are very informative, but sometimes they're hard reads. Like The Big Short was a hard read. They dumbed it down, thankfully, for the movie.
Oh, you got Margot Robbie in there.
Margot Robbie,
that helps out.
It. Yes,
Yeah.
but even Moneyball, to talk about the whole metrics that the guy used to, for the baseball, that most like the baseball purists hate, that he wasn't necessarily wrong, because where Moneyball sort of leaves off is, that offer from the Boston Red Sox at the end, manage the team, and Billy Beane turned it down, stayed in Oakland, which I think he's still in Oakland, or even though they're moving to Las Vegas, building a stadium, leaving Oakland, California. Anyway, off subject.
I didn't know that.
But that money for the Red Sox, he turned that money down, which would have been the highest pay of any general manager in baseball to that date. And they hired a guy named Theo Epstein, which did the same thing that Billy Beane was doing in Oakland, and they won the World Series based off. They just got guys that weren't necessarily superstars.
Hot picks, yeah.
Yeah, but you had guys like became stars later. Like Johnny Damon's a perfect example. The center fielder, we used to call him Jesus because he looked like long hair and the beard like Jesus center field. But you got all these different guys to come in and build the Red Sox and break that curse of the Bambino where they never won. But that was perfect. So Moneyball, it kind of ends there, but this doesn't really cover what happened after that.
What you're saying is they need to make a Moneyball too.
Well, no, but I 4.5. To answer your initial question, that's a great.
Out of all the movies I've asked you so far, I think that's the highest.
That's the high. I'm going to reserve a 5. You know who I would give a 5?
Jaws.
No.
You wouldn't even do 5 for Jaws?
Oh, maybe, but I was going to say something else, but
Okay.
not a summer movie, and certainly, we could talk about Daniel Day-Lewis forever, but
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood. To
Yep.
me, I would give a 5. Not on plot.
I abandoned my son.
I abandoned my boy, but just that movie's incredible. Just because
Phenomenal.
watching him, and you could ask people, "What's that movie about?" And they're like, "I don't know."
Oil.
It's about oil.
Yeah. Greed.
Yeah,
About
the
greed.
book it's based on is called Oil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but yes, that's the book it's based on. But it's I could be wrong. Somebody could tell us that whether I'm wrong or not. But I think it's called Oil.
Mhm.
But you lose that. You're not even really sure. Yeah, he's an oilman. He's an asshole, and
And then, it turns. Yeah.
he's a psychopath.
It turns into straight
but,
feud between.
But it's a feud between him and the
It's a priest or a preacher. I
Yeah,
don't
the
know
preacher.
the
The
difference.
preacher. But that's just incredible to watch him work. Like if you even go over to Lincoln, Spielberg's version of Lincoln.
Still haven't seen it. Really need to.
Oh, watch it. You're
Oh.
going to rank it. I mean, his performance makes the movie, no matter what you think of, Lincoln or the historical part, the Civil War part. Just it's about the politician Lincoln, what he was. And there's some of his personal life and stuff in there, but how he was working to get, the Constitutional Amendment and slavery passed. And, all the stars that are in it, that whole universe of people that are in that movie. But he's incredible in that
Yeah.
movie.
I've heard that. I need to get around to watching that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of his movies I haven't seen. Like he won the Oscar for My Left Foot.
Yeah, I saw that years ago.
Never seen it.
Yeah, it's years ago because it wasn't a very well-known film.
And then
There
one
was
year,
a time when they gave Oscars to people for performance,
and not like the performance from 10 years earlier.
How big is the film? How well
That's
did
it.
the film do? Or people get sort of this, or what they call the consolation Oscar, like
Tom Cruise is. So next year they're adding in the Oscar for like stunt work. Finally, to congratulate these people who have been doing these
so he
crazy
can finally
stunts.
get one.
Well, he's done with Mission Impossible at this point. So I think they're giving like a congratulatory one to him this year.
They're going to give him one for probably achievement or
Yeah, that's what they did for Sam Jackson, the guy that's in every single movie on Earth.
Yeah,
and
done
they
some
finally
good
gave. I
parts.
think they gave him one too.
Well, they do the consolation prizes. Like if you go back to Russell Crowe run for Gladiator, which was on just before I came over, I was watching Gladiator. There's another movie I'm going to have to add because I sat down and started watching it.
Yeah, it's hard to look away from that one.
He should have won for The Insider. I don't know if you've ever seen The Insider.
With Denzel, right?
No, that's Al Pacino. I'm going to get to Denzel in a second, but he won for The Gladiator, but he played.
Am I thinking of Inside Man?
Yeah, Inside Man is a Spike Lee film about the
That has
bank robbery.
Denzel,
but
right?
Okay. Yeah, he's
I've
a
seen that
detective.
one. I don't know if
That's
I've seen Insider.
Great film, and I have strong feelings about Spike Lee films, but that's a great film. We'll get to
I
him
don't.
too.
I
But
about to say, I don't really remember Inside Man. I just know I've
Inside
seen
Man,
it.
that's a really well done film. Very
Yeah.
good film. But going back to the consolation Oscars, The Insider was about a guy that blew the whistle on the big tobacco. Russell Crowe played the guy that did. Fantastic performance. Al Pacino as a producer played a guy from 60 Minutes. He should have won the Oscar for that. He didn't. His Gladiator, the Oscar, or even L.A. Confidential, which is a great movie.
They have a tendency to like ignore the good performances, and then later on they're like, hey, we should have.
Because
We should have done
now
that.
it's a popularity contest versus the performance. Other than Lewis, because you can't ignore that. But just like Denzel didn't win for The Hurricane, probably should have won for The Hurricane, but got the one for Training Day. We got the
Right.
one for Glory, which he was fantastic in the movie
I don't know what
Glory.
Hurricane is.
Hurricanes. Oh, I can't remember the name of the boxer. He played a guy that was been in prison.
Okay.
Boxing name was the Hurricane, but he was locked up for years. He played him, and that he probably should have won for that. He didn't, but they gave it to him. Don't get me wrong. Training Day is a fantastic performance.
I mean, I agree because even when I rewatched Training Day, I was like, this is good, but it's not.
good.
It's not the same as the first watch.
It's not the same, and he should have got it for the other. So I call it. I mean, he's well deserved. He's a fantastic actor, but he got a consolation prize, and they do that a lot.
Well,
You know,
Leo's the best example.
He's a
The
guy-
Revenant is a fine movie. It's good. But he should have won it for something else besides The
What's
Revenant. Don't you say?
Gilbert Grape? He should have won as a kid.
That-
That
yeah.
is a fantastic performance.
Yeah,
That
well, because
is-
he was really kind of unknown back on the time,
he
right?
was really wasn't known.
'Cause I think I saw articles where people actually thought that he was like.
And then he started,
had
in
mental
my
gen-
mind, he started to do films that I didn't, and like we talked about Romeo and Juliet, and so
Yeah.
but then like Blood Diamond, whatever you think of The Aviator.
I told you that I rewatched that recently.
You think?
But, it's fucking phenomenal. It's awesome.
The Blood
It's-
Diamond
it's
is
so cool.
incredible.
I don't know what kind of accent he was trying to do because I swear, like
He was Dutch, or
Okay,
South,
'cause
is he South African or Dutch?
he's from Africa.
South African. He was
Yeah,
South
so-
African.
But there's moments where it's strong, and then there's moments where it's like you just sound like Leonardo DiCaprio again,
Yeah, he
and then
slips
like
out of
it
it.
goes
But-
up, down. But it doesn't even matter because of what's happening.
I
is-
would not watch his films other than I loved What's Eating Gilbert Grape. This Boy's Life he was in with Robert De Niro. He's very good in that, but I kind of didn't like him. Most part, I didn't like him. And then Your Grandmother, God rest her soul. I called her one day. I'm like, "What are you doing, Mom?" "Well, I'm watching this Leonardo DiCaprio movie." What? And she's like, "Blood Diamond." And
the guy that's in there with him.
Yeah. Never gonna pronounce his name. Good luck.
I don't even know. It starts with a D, I think, or something like that.
Jimon Hinsu, something like that.
That's close. Yeah,
Close. Yeah,
Like,
he's
I'll
in,
have to
he's
look
in
up what-
Gladiator too.
He is
He's
incredible.
in everything. He's
like,
in Amistad. That's a Spielberg movie. He's in
Yep.
Amistad.
yeah, Digimon.
Digimon.
Yeah, it's probably not
Hinsu, yeah.
Digimon. But yeah, no, he's in everything. He needs like he's 61. He's getting old, which sucks. But like they need to put him in some lead roles. Let him be in some lead roles
Yeah,
for the last 20 years.
Well,
of
there's
acting.
you scroll down. There's his movies right there. He's in Blood Diamond, and he's in The Quiet Place Part 2, and
He's Quiet Place Day One. Like
yeah,
I
or
didn't- have
is
you
it
seen
Part
that?
2 or Day 1? Is he in? He's
He's-
in both of them.
he's in both of them.
Okay, Gladiator. He's
Have
in
you seen-
Amistad.
Have you seen Quiet Place Day One?
No, I don't.
Waste of time.
I
The
don't
first
pl-
two were incredible, and I thought
I
that
haven't
movie was
seen
boring.
Part 2 yet. I mean, I really loved the first one, so I just sometimes I don't want to do that. He's in Tarzan. Some of those I just don't
okay.
want to do.
Yeah, Last Breath from this year he's in.
Yeah.
But I guarantee, see, like, look, he's not on the poster. Like, he needs some lead roles.
He's in The King's Man.
Is he sort of leading that one? That's the only one I haven't.
Yeah,
I saw
he's
the
like
first
the
two.
sidekick to Ray Fiennes. He's like
Okay.
his sidekick in that.
I want him to get in a. Oh, he's also he's in Guardians. I forgot he's in Guardians.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like that guy that comes after the power
yeah.
thing, whatever
He's
those
in
things are called.
Shazam. He's the wizard in the Shazam films.
That's true. It's just a bunch of side stuff. I want
He's
him in a lead
not-
role.
I don't know that he's in a lead movie. He's in. There's one that he's in. It's
Blood Diamond's considered a lead, in my opinion. Him and Leo.
yeah. I would agree. I would agree on that. But yeah, he's a great one.
I need him in something. I don't even remember him being in Constantine, honestly.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. So.
I rewatched that last year, and it actually holds up.
Aren't they making another one? Isn't that what I've heard?
They've been talking about it for like 3 years.
Yeah, but I don't think they need to do.
But back to Leo. So yeah, you saw she told you to watch Blood Diamond, and
Told me to watch Blood Diamond. You said you really have to watch this movie, and it actually is back in the VHS days. And she gave it to me, and I brought it home, and I watched it, and I was like, wow, that was fantastic. And then I started watching him, and then it all kind of comes back around because then I watched Gangs of New York with him and Daniel Day-Lewis, and
one of the lower Scorsese movies.
but
Still fun.
Daniel Day-Lewis makes that movie, and you terrible casting in that film.
Cameron
because
Diaz
doesn't need to be in that movie.
She's good in rom coms, but that's it.
She doesn't need to be in that film.
Yeah.
Anybody could have played that part. She doesn't need to be in there. John C. Reilly was good. Brendan Gleeson was great. Day-Lewis was great.
I like Brendan Gleeson's in that.
Yeah, he's
I need to rewatch that.
Monk. He's not Monk is his name. Yeah, he's the
It's not
guy.
gonna do anything for me because I can't remember.
He's the guy that Daniel Day-Lewis kills with the axe in the back, or the the knife in the back at the end of the movie. He's one of the old.
See what I mean?
You have to go back and
Spoilers.
look at it. Spoilers.
That
Yeah.
movie's oldish.
There will be. Yeah, if you haven't seen it by now, then there will be
At
spoilers.
least that's a Scorsese movie. Some people are like, if you haven't seen that by now, and it's like some movie from the 70s by some random director or something, I'm like, how would I see that by now? Like, so at least it's like
You have to see it by now. If you're gonna, you have to go back to the older films to see what's going on in the newer films, because a lot of it is taken from the older film. A lot of the older films have been remade.
Yeah,
there are a lot of remakes. You'll meet people and they'll say, "Oh, I just saw this movie and it was fantastic," and I'm like, that was a remake, right? No, what? Yeah, there's a lot of movies that have been redone. There's a lot of foreign films that are translated into American films. There's a lot of films that have just been redone, and the ones that we could do a whole episode on what movies they should remake and redo them and modernize them, because there are some old
kind of bad
there's
ones.
some old they're not great. They're just
like Dune.
The quality.
Dune was a
the
good
old
remake.
Dune was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's what I've never seen
great.
it. I stayed away to make sure.
No,
I didn't,
you're not missing anything. Don't watch it. These new ones are fantastic, because I was around I saw them. Went to the theater, saw the first one.
Did you see the Bond news? Because I know you're not really on like Twitter and whatnot. You see who's directing the new Bond movie?
The guy that did Dune?
Yeah, Denis.
Oh,
Denis Villeneuve.
Do we have a new Bond yet?
No. Apparently, most of the time rumors are right when they go around. Tom Holland was on the list, which I'm like, he's a good actor, but he just needs a better agent, I feel like. But no, not for Bond. They had Jacob Elordi, which I don't think that's good either, even though he's a big dude. He's the only thing I really know him from is Euphoria, which
Are you gonna bring him up? I don't. I recognize the name.
He's not in. He's Australian. He's not even British.
Oh, I know who that is. Yeah, no.
See, I don't want him either.
What about Aaron Taylor Johnson? Wasn't he supposed to be on the list?
I think he was, but he is also like, I like him, but I feel like his last few projects he hasn't been doing that well. Like, have you seen Nosferatu? The newest one, the new one.
No, I did not see that yet.
He's in it, and everybody else is like firing on all cylinders. Willem Dafoe's doing great, Nicholas Holt's doing good. Depp, what's her first name?
Oh, his daughter.
His daughter.
Yeah,
she's doing great.
Yeah.
He did fine, but they did so much better than him. I feel like he felt like out of place a bit.
Come on, he was in Bullet Train. Give him credit for Bullet Train.
Phenomenal in Bullet Train. But then now, 28 years later, everybody's enjoying 28 years later. I thought his line delivery in that was so weird. Like, there's a part where they're being
did you see Kraven the Hunter?
Oh, I'm not gonna.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
He's in that.
Is he good in it at least, or no? Is it? It's because of
the movie is so bad that it's just, I can't even.
I heard that they're
Russell Crowe's terrible in it. It's just everybody phoned it in. Terrible movie.
Russell Crowe's been making some like pretty bad decisions lately.
Well, he can do what he wants. I mean, he's made a lot of fantastic movies. I mean, he can do what he wants.
That's true.
Got to work. Got to make money. Got to pay the bills.
He's done
everything can't be Gladiator.
I think he's done like 2 or 3 what's it called? Priest
Yes,
exorcist type movies.
He did the Pope's Exorcist, which was pretty awful, and then he did another one about this. I can't even describe what it's about, but it's a guy playing a priest that somehow gets possessed by playing it. Looks so dumb.
I saw that trailer.
I wasn't watching that. I saw the trailer for that, and I'm like, I will not watch that. It's just gonna. So he needs to go back. But if you look at Crowe's catalog of movies, I'll forgive it. Kind of stuff. I mean, even Harrison Ford made some shit movies. I mean, come on, there's some Harrison Ford movies that are like, eh.
Very true.
What was that?
Yeah, it's true. Brain fart. What were we just talking about right before Russell Crowe?
I don't know. We got it off.
Oh, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yes.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah, so like I don't know. He's great. I love him. So I think that would be good, especially because I'm assuming it'll be a really great script. He'll do fine. The other guy that I saw online that they talked about was you ever seen the Iron Claw?
Say that again.
Iron Claw.
Parts of it. No.
Okay.
Parts of it.
This guy is. They were talking about him, and he did good in Iron Claw.
Harris Dickinson.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen anything else really. Maybe I have, but he did pretty damn good. So I wouldn't mind seeing him. Out of those 3 that I saw, Tom Holland, Jacob, and him.
I think it should be somebody we don't know, to be honest with you.
Which he's pretty good choice.
Daniel Craig was an unknown, but he certainly wasn't a big star. I knew who Daniel Craig was when they picked him, and I was kind of like, okay, I'd rather have somebody I really don't know than somebody that I have to look at and go, I don't believe it.
When Casino Royale come out? 2000 was it 8?
I need to look it up. It's
I saw
maybe before that. I think
I saw Layer Cake, which has I saw that, but I think that was after I saw the Bond movies, and
Layer
then
Cake was before that. I do believe
2006.
Yeah,
and then Layer Cake 2004 was before.
Yeah,
okay,
Layer Cake. That's a Guy Ritchie film, isn't it?
I think
Layer
so.
Cake one of the Ritchie films or not?
It is
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Matthew Vaughn.
No, Matthew Vaughn.
Apparently,
Okay, but
he
it's,
did the
it's that
Kingsman
same
movies.
sort of genre. It's the British gangster film.
Yeah.
I know Tom Hardy's in it, and
I don't remember it that much. And then so is
I remember it. But Rock and Rolla, this one, and like
isn't there
Lock,
like
Stock, and Two Barrels, which is Guy Ritchie. I think they're all the same kind
They
of.
are.
Movie. I mean, I'm probably gonna piss somebody off that one, but all those movies could be intertwined, and they're the same thing. But they're all kind of that British gangster film that was real possible that made was rolled in together. But yeah, I knew Daniel Craig because I'd seen a movie called Defiant. Did he make Defiance?
That's what I was. But yeah, I was waiting for you to finish up your thing. I was gonna say Defiant. I think I saw that before because that's the one where he's like helping people. Is it during World War II or something?
Yeah,
or
that's
what is that?
Liev Schreiber and
He's running through the woods.
They're the Polish brothers that took all those people into the woods to hide from the Nazis. That's a great film.
Defiant. I liked it.
That's-
It's actually after Bond. But
Yeah.
so I guess
Well, it depends on when it was filmed. I mean, that 8's probably the release date, but
Mhm.
when did they film it? Because some
Yeah.
of those films are made a year or two before. That's probably
I-
right. It's right before or right after he did that.
I think I saw this before I saw Bond because obviously 2006 I was 8 years old. I don't think I saw Bond right away. Casino Royale, I'm not
You
sure.
would have seen it with me. If you saw Bond, you saw it with me because
Did you go to theaters for this?
not that one, but the other ones we saw.
We saw Skyfall in theaters.
We saw Quantum of Solace.
Did we see Quantum of
Yeah.
Solace?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I know we saw Skyfall, Spectre,
Hydra,
and
yeah,
most
we-
recent No Time to Die.
Yeah, we saw those in the theaters, but I took you to see those, just like I took the Batman films, the Bond films, and the Star Wars film.
Yeah, I remember episode 3. Did you go to theaters for that?
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, that's what it's called, right? Yeah, I remember seeing that one in theaters, and then I remember going back for Force
But
Awakens.
I took you to the Phantom Menace, and I took you to
Okay,
Attack of the Clones. I took
so I was young.
you and your brother. Yeah.
All right, next movie we can talk about because we started with Jaws and we just on a tangent. But he mentioned Sandlot earlier. Yeah. So Sandlot's classic. What can go wrong there? You got
baseball films. So if you're going to go baseball, Sandlot,
Mhm.
coming of age, kids, baseball, summer.
can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with that.
It's
What
awesome.
did
And then
you
you
do?
have
What'd you do as a kid in the summer? Play baseball. What
Yeah,
did I do
just
as
went
a kid in
outside.
the summer? Play baseball.
or kickball, just outside. Same shenanigans with friends. Having a brain fart of what his name is. Don't tell me. James Earl Jones.
Yes.
Right. Incredible.
And
Obviously.
he's in Field of Dreams and the Sandlot.
Yeah,
Mention that.
and so we wrote on Field of Dreams. We wrote on there
Well,
another
you have to.
baseball.
You have to. Probably the greatest baseball film ever. Arguably, I mean, you could argue about it, but at the end,
I'd have to rewatch it, but also like that's your generation type thing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But do you know what it's about? Do you remember what it's?
So it's been
if
years.
If you
So
build it, he will come.
Yeah, if you build it, nerds will come.
There-
Benchwarmers. But yeah, they build it because like I remember they see like Ray Liotta walk out of the corn or something like that. and
Julius
they're
Joe
like,
Jackson, but
"What the
he's
fuck is that?" And so
he's in the cornfield working, and he hears if you build it, he will come.
Yeah, so they build the field, and so then all the old baseball players that are dead
But
come
no,
out
but
and start
that's
playing
not
ball.
who it's for. Yes, the baseball
Oh,
players.
the baseball players.
No, you don't
Okay.
remember the end of the movie, do you?
No,
No,
I don't.
spoiler. Here we
Yeah,
go.
spoiler.
It's his dad. The end of the movie,
Was the dad
they're
an
all
MLB
leaving.
player?
They're all going at the end. End of the movie, his brother-in-law wants him to sell the place because he's going bankrupt because he plowed under his corn to build the baseball field. He brings all those players. More and more players keep coming. They go to him and the writer Terrence Mann. They go to Minnesota. They find Moonlight Graham. They bring him back so he can play as a kid. He's the old doctor. He's actually dead, but he's the doctor. The daughter falls off. The thing. The doctor comes out, saves her. He has to leave now.
You can't go back in.
But as all the players are leaving, then his brother-in-law sees the play, like, where did these players come from? And don't sell the farm. At the very end, as all the players are leaving, Julius Joe Jackson basically says to him, hey, he's like, hey, if you build it, he will come. And he's like, what do you mean? He looks over and his dad is there. Because the whole premise of the movie is that his dad loved baseball. As he got older, he used to love baseball as a kid. As he got older, he didn't love it anymore. He didn't get along with his dad anymore. His dad was way older when he had him. But his dad used to play minor league ball. And at the end, his dad is there.
Okay.
So if you build it, he will come. And it was his dad. And he gets to play catch with his dad at the end.
I forgot about that.
That's the best.
Okay, that is cute. That's
the best.
That's
Yeah.
good writing. Okay, I like that.
So
That's a good summer one. Can't go wrong with Stand By Me, even though like
Yes.
what they're looking for is not great.
Oh,
But
no.
but it's all about boyhood.
boyhood, yes.
friendship,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
amazing.
Yeah, with the premise of what they're looking for, but that really has very little to do with what that movie's about.
Yeah, it's and then what's the is it Kiefer? Is that Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah, plays the
Yeah,
big
yeah,
major,
yeah.
the
Yeah,
big
he's
bully in
the
it.
big
Yeah.
bully. Yep, yep.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of King's themes are about that. Even most of Stephen King's stuff, you're going to find a bully in
Hmm.
one of his. Even the horror, like It's got Henry Bowers.
Yeah.
You know, there's a version of that. There's Sometimes They Come Back, I think is the name of a film. It's not a very good one. It's from the 80s, but it's about a bunch of kids from the 50s that haunt this guy when he's older, and it's bullies. So there's a lot of that in his. A lot of his characters are bullies. There's always one somewhere.
I've noticed there's a lot of like the same.
Even Jack
themes.
Torrance in The Shining was a bully.
Yeah. Give me the bat,
Wendy. Yeah, so yeah, a bully. So that's like a theme in there. So that's a big theme for growing up. Bullies. So Stand
It's
By
true.
Me, and then
Yeah,
standing
getting
up
picked
to
on.
them. So yeah, that's a big theme in that movie. And there's that whole relationship between the parent, like Gordy's parents. As his brother died, so they ignore him. Kind of like watch It.
Which one's a Gordy?
Gordy LaChance. Gordy's the main kid.
He's the main kid
Yeah.
from Stand By Me.
Yeah, well, there's River. River Phoenix played
River
Chris
Phoenix.
Chambers,
Yeah,
and
he's
then,
the one that his parents don't really like him, right? Or something
Well,
like that. They
he's
think
just
kind of like bad
he's
news.
supposedly the bad kid, but he really
Mhm.
isn't. Then you got Corey Feldman was Eddie.
He was in everything in the 80s. I swear,
it's
as a
Eddie,
kid.
and then Jerry O'Connell, who is now 6'4" and muscular as hell and all that,
Really?
was the kid, the fat kid,
Okay. Yeah. What's his name? I want to see him.
Jerry O'Connell. Vern, he was Vern.
I won't be able to remember his name.
Yeah, he was Vern.
Jerry. Is that with a J?
O'Connell. Yeah, Jerry O'Connell. There he is. Right.
O'Connell. Wait, that's him from
That's
Stand By Me?
Yeah, that's him.
What?
Yeah, I'm telling you. There he is. See him?
I just remember him from Kangaroo Jack. Where's he at? Which one are you looking
Look
at?
right, the second one on the top. Isn't that him? As a
Oh. Holy, look at that.
yeah? See the difference, right?
I see him now, but like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
I didn't even
him.
think of that. Huh. Okay. Yeah, no, that movie, I love that movie. That's great. I've seen that a few times.
Yeah, I mean they all went on to do stuff. Will Wheaton went on to be Will Wheaton went on Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Which one's Will Wheaton?
He's Gordy LaChance.
Gordy.
Gordy, yeah, and then River. We know what happened to River Phoenix.
Yeah, he
but
passed away,
then
yeah.
Corey Feldman, we know what happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's out there, but yeah, so that's what happened. Jerry O'Connell's still around, still makes films. But yeah, those are the guys. But
Okay.
yeah,
We got E.T. Talked about that earlier.
yeah,
Which that's not really during the summer mostly. I feel like it's more of fall vibes.
summer blockbuster,
but
right?
it's just
I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
Summer
we threw it in
blockbuster
there
vibe.
because that's the first one that we think when you think of blockbusters, you think of summer film. Get
Yeah.
that one. To me, Jaws and
Yeah, it's got that summer. It's got that Spielberg magic again, where
Yes.
he can like somehow I don't know. He just crafts perfection,
yeah.
especially with this camera, the way he shoots the movies too.
I mean, what did he? Remember that movie 8mm? No, is it 8mm? No, is that the Nicolas Cage movie? What the hell was it called?
Want me to look up Spielberg movies?
I think he's the producer. I don't think he directed it, but it's about the kids there's some alien that lands and what is that movie called? I think he produced it. I don't know if he directed it. It's not 8mm. I think that's the Nicolas Cage movie. The Pornographers. Totally different subject.
Wait, did he direct Goonies?
I think he produced it. Richard Donner.
Screenplays Chris Columbus, like Chris
Yeah.
Columbus from
Yes.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, Richard Donner, I
Home
think,
Alone?
did Goonies. The
Okay.
Superman Richard Donner.
Oh, is this okay? The same one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing anything about 8mm.
Oh, 8mm's guy. You know who we can look up? The guy that was in.
Is it Super 8?
Kyle, look up Super 8. There we go. Thank you.
I have seen this. Is this a kid? Doesn't the kid have like a camcorder?
Yeah,
that
it's
he's
got a
running around with or
camcorder and
something?
aliens, and I don't know if I think Spielberg was the producer on this.
Yeah, producer.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams' movie.
did
Okay.
that movie. Yeah, that's a good summer one right there.
I remembered that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't remember what happens, so that's a good rewatch. So don't spoil that one. but
But this is called Dad Ruins the
yeah,
Movie.
You can spoil it next time.
Okay.
I need to
Watch
rewatch that
it.
one.
So actually watch it, and then we'll talk
Okay.
about it. But I wanted to add that one to the list yesterday, and I forgot. And then this morning I was like, oh yeah, the movie with but I couldn't remember the name of it. 8mm is not what I meant to say.
Okay.
That's a totally.
Hey, you got the A right.
That's a dark movie. That's never mind.
Yeah, I remember enjoying that one, even though I can't. I remember, aren't they at like a train station at one point? Outside like a train depot?
There's a train involved. Yeah, I don't want to say too much because
Okay.
you need to ruin it for you. But yes, there's a train scene. And
Okay. Another good summer one is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Can't go wrong. Another Spielberg.
yes, that's the one you lined up at the theater in the summer to go watch it premiere. I think you mentioned yesterday we were talking about greatest movie scenes. one of all time. If we had to do greatest movie scenes,
It's the one where he had the flu and he decided to just shoot him instead of doing the fight
he
scene.
pulled the gun and shot the guy with the sword. Yeah, one of the greatest movie scenes, and he improvised it. Yeah, because he was sick.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, he ate like bad food or something, was throwing up. And he's like, I can't do this.
Dysentery or something, and he was like, gun. Yes,
it's amazing.
One of the great movie scenes.
Dazed and Confused, all-time vibes movie.
I gotta, what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again. I've seen it, seen it a couple of times, but I don't. Not a lot happens in that film.
Well, that's so I've seen it one time, and I actually wasn't like huge on it the first time, but it's until I watched a few more of Richard Linklater's movies.
Yeah,
I realized that like he's just about vibes.
Yeah, there's not a lot happening.
There's no plot. You just talk.
Yeah,
and so like with knowing that, it's like nice.
Well, hanging out.
Yep. Yeah, it's like you ever seen? Well, I'm gonna talk about one of his movies later, so I'm not gonna talk about that one. But like Boyhood, you've seen Boyhood, the one they shot over 12 years.
Yeah.
Stuff does happen obviously because it's the kid's life.
Right.
But like it's mostly just like you're just hanging out with the kid for like 12 years of his life.
Right.
So, yeah. Got American Graffiti, which is I feel like Dazed and Confused like a remake of that pretty much.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same type of movie.
Time frame, but people hanging out the last night they're together before off to college. Richard Dreyfuss is in
Richard Dreyfuss is in that. Yep. Yeah. He's real young.
Yeah.
Even though he's young, but he looks old. He's an old looking dude.
He always did kind of look older than what he was, but he was pretty young when those movies. Pretty young when he was in Jaws.
Yeah, was he in his 20s? Or I don't even know when he was born. Is he still alive?
Yeah, oh yeah. In his late 70s.
Richard Dreyfuss.
See when he was born, because that movie was 73, 74.
He is born in 47, so he's 77 now.
Okay. So he wasn't even 30 years old. He was in his 20s when he was. So when he was in Jaws, he was still in his 20s, because he would have turned 30, in 77? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was still in his 20s. But even when he's in, Jaws, he's got gray hair and gray beard, so he looks older, but he's only in his 20s.
That's true.
Where Robert Shaw was older, in his 50s, and I don't know how old Roy Scheider was, probably.
Yeah, he looked older.
Yeah, he's an older guy, but
I can imagine he's probably passed away.
He did die.
Okay.
Yeah.
After American Graffiti, we got Kings of Summer. That was one you talked about.
Yes.
I saw that a long time ago. Don't remember any of it besides Rico from Hannah Montana. I had to show you what that was, but
yeah. No, that's him. Yeah, that is him, and I highly recommend that movie. That is a good.
That would be a good rewatch.
That's a good rewatch.
I honestly, I need to start just doing like a bunch of summer movies right now.
Summer film to rewatch. That's if you were ever a kid and ran off in the woods to build forts and stuff as a kid, which
it's relatable. We all did. I did for sure. Yeah.
Yes, because I was like, get out of the house, get out of here.
Yeah.
But yes, it was. Yeah, that's a good one to watch. Highly recommend it.
Okay. Caddyshack. I have seen once or twice. I remember it being hilarious. Could not tell you what happens on that golf course the entire time. I remember
it's a generational film. It's more
I remember liking it. I just don't remember. Doesn't Bill Murray hunt down like an animal or something?
It's the gopher.
Gopher. Yeah, I remember that.
There's a gopher on there, and he's Carl, the groundskeeper, and he's trying to kill the gopher. There's a whole subtext about that, or subplot about that, and the actual star of that movie is a guy named Michael O'Keefe. Is the star of that film, really, and he's one of the caddies that's trying to get out of there. Chevy Chase is in it one of the few times he's funny.
Yeah, we talked about yesterday. We don't like National Lampoons that much.
No, we don't care for those.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. I remember watching the old one when I was younger, and then that's what led me to watch like the remake. Did you see the remake with Ed Helms?
Yeah,
I liked it. I liked the remake. I laughed at it. I mean, it wasn't great. It's not a great movie, but like it's decent.
Never, and people live and die by those films.
Yeah,
and I do not.
We could have put that on here for a summer movie, but
no.
Yeah. We only suggest good stuff.
No, Vacation's not going on there because I don't like it. I don't. There was a time when he was funny. It didn't last very long.
Yeah.
And,
you ever keep going? Sorry.
And then like Dan Aykroyd, and when Dan Aykroyd was funny, wrote a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, I feel that because I've never really found him to be like that hilarious. Anyways,
I mean, Ghostbusters, he wrote that. I mean, that's a funny movie.
Ghostbusters is good. I just rewatched Trading Places for the first time since I don't know if I've actually ever seen it. It might have been my first time,
right.
And I liked it. I mean, it wasn't a hilarious movie by any means,
Eddie
but
Murphy.
it's entertaining.
It's
and
Murphy, basically.
Jamie Lee Curtis too.
Yeah.
So that was good. Speaking of movies though that we think are good, we're different on this one. Grown Ups. Most people don't like Grown Ups. I love it.
You don't like Grown Ups?
No, I love it. I love Grown Ups.
I like
most people, like people who are watching or like listening, No.
That movie's hilarious.
Yes,
That
it's
movie's
awesome.
great.
They
And
just
when you
don't-
go into, like we talked about this, when you go into a Sandler movie, you know what you're getting.
Mhm.
Okay, don't act like you were expecting an Oscar out of this movie.
Exactly.
Even though he did uncut, we don't need to get into whole uncut gems, all that nonsense. Good movie. Don't get me wrong.
Phenomenal. I love it.
But when you go into a Sandler comedy, you know what you're getting. And
dumb,
as
stupid
far
comedies,
as his movies go, Grown Ups is very well done. That's a funny movie.
compare that to Pixels, or
Pixels
like
or Click or The
oh,
Cobbler.
you don't like Click?
It's okay.
Oh, Click is so Click. I think Click is better with age. It's like relatable.
I'll
It's
check it out.
sad.
I'll
it's
have to
about
watch it out.
it's about a father and son relationship. And
I'll
like
have to
yeah,
check it out again. I don't remember that, so I'll have.
I love Click. Cobbler was not very good. Like I just remember nothing
Or
happened.
That's
in
My
that movie.
Boy. Terrible movie.
That was stupid.
Okay.
Bedtime Stories was like that's a kids movie.
Yeah. So
Like-
there's some, but you know what you're getting. But Grown Ups is
Yeah.
great. Between that whole cast, that's a funny movie.
The best part is when they're all sitting in the lawn chairs and they're like switch and they keep switching and they're looking at like his whoever's daughter that was
Yeah.
fixing the car and then it turns around and they're like, wait a minute, are we all looking at the tree or whatever it was? And they weren't even looking at the girl anymore.
Yeah. Right.
That was
well,
great.
it was David Spade's daughter, but then his wife was old, so then
Mhm.
she's out there, so they keep turning around.
Yeah.
So yeah, that movie's hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Oh, that's a good one. So yes, Grown Ups to me, that's a good one. I like it. Like Hubie Halloween, love it. Grown
Yeah,
Ups, love it.
Hubie Halloween the first
The
time
Ridiculous
I watched. 'Cause
Six, hated it.
I hated that movie too.
That
Yeah,
was terrible.
that was a bad one. But yeah, Hubie Halloween I watched for the first time and I was like, that was good. And I was like, why are people hating on it? And I rewatched it again and I was like, it's just Sandler's comedy. Like I was like, this is
Yeah.
awesome. Like yeah,
There's some
it's-
good parts in there. I mean, that
Mhm.
whole everybody throwing shit at him the whole movie when he's riding the bike, that's funny.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
He's
but
got that
it's funny.
stupid voice the entire time.
Yeah.
He's actually coming into town in
He's touring.
October
Yeah.
or something like that. We should go because I've never seen like his
That'll be a
stand-up
hard
stuff.
ticket to get. Check it
Yeah.
out. I mean, yeah, that'd be a
I'm
hard
pretty
ticket.
sure the day they announced it was coming out, I clicked on it and it was like a queue already. So it's probably it might be sold out for all I know. It's
Yeah,
at Gamebridge or
or
whatever.
to get. Oh yeah, it's going to be full. You don't want to see a comedian in a big environment. You want a smaller.
I mean, he's
venue.
not going to go to a small one ever though
I know
again.
because
you know
he's
what I mean?
big, but you got to
Yeah.
catch him in small venues, and that's the problem with comedy clubs. Not so much here, but you're like a New Yorker, you're in LA, you could go to a comedy club, you never know who's going to show up. Some of
Yeah.
those guys walk in and just come up on stage, it's like going to Nashville and being in the Bluebird, and Chris Stapleton walks in one day and just wants to play. You never know who you're going to see.
Yeah, that's what's cool about LA and
when
New
you
York.
do these big tours, you want a smaller venue for a comedian.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but I don't think it's ever going to happen for him.
All right,
Like it's my like only chance. So I might do it. I don't know.
Yeah, so we covered the list of like summer ones, didn't we? So
We got through all the summer stuff,
but the summer stuff.
we're almost at an hour already. We haven't gotten to like our own stuff yet.
Oh, well, okay.
So we can keep going and like maybe like we can shoot fast through some of our favorites and then we can talk about them next time in depth.
Well, yeah, we can shoot fast
So we
and we
can
can talk
just do,
about
like-
them a little bit, but yeah, we can go through it and kind of see where we're at.
'Cause I want to know. I don't want to like wait until
Oh,
the
you
next time.
want to know, right?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So what
So we decided that we were gonna do a favorite. Like I said, favorite 2 to 3, but I ended up putting like a ton for some of these categories. But favorite 2 to 3 movies for like certain genres. We chose action, comedy, drama, sci-fi, romance, and westerns. There's a lot more that we can go over.
we'll get to horror. Horror's going to be October.
Yes,
It's gonna
horror will be
totally
yeah.
dedicated to horror and Halloween and
Exactly.
maybe Halloween.
Yeah, we're talking about Hubie Halloween every episode. But yeah, we'll do horror then, and then I kind of avoided war movies. I didn't really do.
We can get to
yeah,
we can
'cause-
get to military films. That's a
And then
whole that's
I
a couple
do-
hours.
Yeah, I kind of have some crime in here, but I feel like crime kind of its
Oh, I
own
didn't
thing
even
too.
Think about crime drama. Yeah,
Yeah, crime and thriller are kind of its own thing,
Yeah.
but I kind of have them still because some of them are like my favorites.
Okay.
but,
well, yeah.
we'll-
Well, do that first. Do the crime one first.
Well, I didn't put crime. It's just I put them into like my thing. Wait, we'll start at action. So we're just gonna like since we're almost.
Well,
at
you
an
go and then I'll go. You name one and then I'll name one.
hour. Okay. Well, action. Top Gun Maverick.
Not on my list.
Yeah.
No.
Peak. Go ahead. You don't know and understand terms. I tried explaining mid to him the other day and he didn't
No, I
understand.
don't know
Go.
what that means. Peak. What is peak? mean?
Like, top of the mountain. Peak. It's like the best.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Go ahead. Name your damn movie.
Action movie? Jaws.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
I vibe with that. I mean, like,
Yeah.
that's one where like, I feel like that teeter totters between like if it's actually action, but what else would it be? Like, it's not a drama because it's
It's an action.
a dramedy, I guess. But
Yeah, it is. There's some funny parts in it
Yeah.
too. It covers the gamut. Anyway,
Yeah, I like action for
what's your
that.
next one?
all right, I put Casino Royale.
Oh, Bond films, yeah.
I think that's the best one.
Oh, wow, totally
Yeah.
agree.
I used
Absolutely.
to think that Skyfall was, but then I rewatched Casino Royale and I was like, man, dude, him just looking at Lashif or whatever his name is across the table, I was like, it's so good.
Any one of those Daniel Craig Bond films, I think totally agree. You nailed that one. I
Yep.
did not think of that, but yes, because we could do a whole episode on just Bond films. I mean, how many Bonds there are?
So
You
many,
haven't
'cause I haven't-
seen seen the Connery Bonds, which are
No, I don't think I've seen a single one actually, because I know I've seen some of the
yeah.
Pierce Brosnan ones. But
I like him as an actor, but still, we could get into that. All right, so it's my turn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna do the one that's very famous. And we
Okay.
talked about it. Then I have some really obscure ones for you.
Okay.
that I'm gonna challenge you to watch. But I have Raiders of the Lost Ark.
okay,
Because to me, as a kid watching that movie, everybody wanted to be in.
he's badass.
He's badass. Snakes? Why does it have to be snakes?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
great.
absolutely.
That's it truly makes you feel like you're like a treasure hunter, like an
Yeah,
adventurer.
yes.
Like it fits the vibe so well.
Based on the old serial films of the 30s and 40s, and that's where they based kind of that. There used to be these short films that they showed before movies, and they were all adventure films.
Oh, okay, so they built it from there.
So,
okay.
what's your next one?
Got Mission Impossible Fallout, which I think is the best Mission Impossible.
Okay.
Which you said you haven't seen that one. You have.
No, I have.
You have. That's Henry Cavill.
I went back
one.
after
Okay.
we talked about it that one time. It was on. I happened to go home and I was like, "How did he do that? It's on."
Yeah,
So
it's really, new one was coming out. Probably.
I watched that one, so that was good. So I've got one for you.
Okay.
Super obscure. One of my favorite films. It's called Vanishing Point. Now they remade it.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
You can look it up. 1971 version. There's two versions of it because one is the remake was done I don't know 90s, 2000s, whenever with Viggo Mortensen. But Vanishing Point, the original Vanishing Point film, 1971. Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically just a guy taking that super badass 1970 white Challenger, trying to deliver that from Colorado to California, and it's a car chase movie. It's pre-Smokey and the Bandit. It's an anti-establishment film. This guy all hopped up on speed trying to deliver a car, and it sounds, and like your car guys get it. Watch it. It's one of my favorite films.
Okay. Yeah. No, I've never.
It's very 70s. Got a naked chick on a motorcycle and car chases. What else do you need in life? And it's got. I won't spoil it, even though Dad ruins the movie.
Yeah.
It's got a great ending.
Okay.
But okay, so that's one of mine.
Okay.
Do you have another action one, or because
I have I'll name since I said like 2 to 3. I'll just name the next 3 I have, and then you can name the rest of yours. So I put Mad Max Fury Road because I never saw. I never saw
the Mel Gibson ones.
No.
You
So
gotta
like this was
see
like my first introduction.
Road Warrior.
Okay.
That's
the second one,
That's
right?
the second one. The Road Warrior is a classic. Everybody loves Beyond Thunderdome. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Not a bad film. Very Hollywoodized.
Okay.
But the Road Warrior is after Mad Max is a very low budget cult film.
Mhm.
Road Warrior is like bigger, best one. Road Warrior.
Okay. I
Do the
definitely.
Road Warrior.
There's so many damn movies I need to watch.
Yeah,
There's
you suck.
not
You
enough
gotta
time.
catch up.
Yeah, so that was my first introduction though. Loved it. Then I got Kill Bill Volume 1, which I know that you don't like Kill Bill, right?
Out of all those films, I'm not. I might retry those. I
Mhm.
didn't initially care for those.
They're very like out there because they do like
It's out
like,
there.
it does like weird things that like you'd see in like those old school like
I
kung fu
didn't
movies.
care for those. Didn't hate it as much as the Hateful Eight. I hated.
Really?
Did not like that movie.
Oh wow. Okay.
But we'll get to that in a minute
Alright.
because I got more Tarantino on my list later.
Okay. Then I got John Wick. Can't go wrong with John
I'm
Wick.
not a fan of those. I don't dislike the John Wick movie. I've seen it. I'm not a fan of that type of. How many are we into now? Now it's the ballerina, which he's in that now. Four of
Yeah.
them, 3, 4 of
Well,
them.
4 was a great send off for him. Well, kind of a spoiler.
It's fine.
It was a great ending for his.
I'm
like,
probably the only one that has never seen it, so
Okay.
you didn't
Yeah,
spoil it for anybody.
it's a great ending to his story, but then they're doing a 5th one apparently.
Oh.
I'm like, what are we doing here?
Those are good choices. I don't disagree with them as action films. Good action. I have one from the 40s called The Mark of Zorro.
The Mask of Zorro?
Mask? No, it's. I think it's not. You're thinking Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
I'm talking Tyrone Power
The
talking-
Mark.
of Zorro.
Zorro.
I want to say it's the Mark. I'm pretty sure it's the Mark. 1940 cast right there. 1940.
You want the 1941?
1940.
Old.
Old.
Is this what he's based off? Antonio Banderas' one's based off this guy?
Yes. Well, the Zorro's an old, character anyway. Been around. This was a TV show in
Yeah.
the 50s, but yeah, the Mark of Zorro with Tyrone. That's an old movie that
Huh.
they went and they changed it to the Mask of Zorro or whatever the hell it was called. but that's a movie from the 40s. Like there's the old Robin Hood films with Errol Flynn and the Swashbuckler films, and that's considered a swashbuckler film. It's not on a boat, but you had Captain Blood and the Seahawk, and these are all movies from the late 30s and 40s.
It's all foreign stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, it's all foreign stuff, but that's where you get that from. That's a fantastic film, The Mark of Zorro. It's a great film, but that's one of my favorite. Like I said, a movie, if I walk in and it's on, I'm going to sit down and watch it. It's got a great soundtrack to it. It's corny, but it's 1940, but it's a great film.
Okay. You got any more action?
No, that's it.
Okay.
I mean,
so we're at an hour 5. Do you want to go through everything still?
Let's do it.
Okay.
We'll do an hour and a half maybe, right? We're good?
Yeah, we'll stop. We'll stop an hour and a half. All right, so comedy now.
Okay.
I got American Pie.
Okay.
It's not the best movie ever, but like that raunchy comedy is the best.
For you,
like,
you like
yes,
it.
I grew up on it. Yeah.
So you got your Superbads and your American Pies.
Yeah. I got Superbad on there too.
I have the original MASH movie.
Never seen it, but I know what you're talking about. That's the guy with like the red, isn't it like red hair or something like that? Is the picture? Am I thinking of Mad TV?
Oh,
hold on. MASH?
MASH movie, not the show, not the TV show, the film.
Movie.
Donald Sutherland, Elliot Gould.
I recognize him. What's he from?
Well, that's from the TV show. He's not in the movie. That's Alan Alda. The original Hawkeye was played by Donald Sutherland.
I've never seen this. I've never seen the show either. I was thinking of...
Oh, Mad Magazine.
Doesn't... That guy. I was thinking of that dude.
Alfred E. Newman?
yeah, he looks like little Debbie's brother.
Yeah, no, Alfred E. Newman is the cartoon character from the magazine. Totally different thing.
Okay.
No, so MASH film. Okay. Robert Altman film. It's an ensemble movie. It's very dark comedy. You can tell a lot of it's improvised. It's a great film. And they based the TV show off of that, but it's a lot darker and more adult version of the show, but it's great.
Yep.
That's Kiefer Sutherland's father. Right there, Donald Sutherland is Kiefer Sutherland's father.
Never put 2 and 2 together about
that's his
that.
dad.
He passed away recently, didn't he?
Yeah, last year.
Okay. I never put that together, honestly.
Tom Skerritt, Top Gun. Original Top Gun. Tom Skerritt right there. He was the commander in the original Top Gun. You don't even remember him, do you?
Nope. Maverick's
he's
better.
like 90 years old and he's still acting. He's been around forever.
Damn.
Tom Skerritt's been in everything.
Okay.
Shame on you for not.
All right.
What do you got?
I put La La Land, even though that's not really a comedy.
Is that a comedy?
I don't know why I put that in there.
If you think it's funny, if you think it's a comedy, it's a comedy. I thought that was a romance.
I think I meant to put it there. Yeah, let me just go ahead and delete that. Okay, I wasn't laughing during that movie.
Move that one. Yeah, I was like, why? I don't think that was that funny.
I put Truman Show, which that one's both comedy and drama. But I love that movie. It's so clever.
Good film.
It's got one of the greatest endings ever. Good afternoon. No, good morning. Is it good afternoon, good evening, good night? That's what it is, right? Doesn't he say that? And there's good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yeah, I'd have to watch it again.
Something like that. Yeah.
I have Young Frankenstein.
Phenomenal. One of the best bits ever is when his hump keeps moving. He's like, wasn't your hump over there? Yeah, what hump?
Oh, mine is Inspector Kemp, the guy with the wooden arm.
Oh yeah, he keeps smacking it around. I remember that.
Lights the cigar with his wooden arm. Yeah,
that's
the best. So I have that.
Okay.
What else you got?
I got this one's also teeter totters, but I thought it was hilarious. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I have that on my list of dramas.
Okay, I think it's both because it's dark
humor in it.
It's dark subject material in some parts, but then like you got badass Cliff Booth being hilarious.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Okay. But yeah, and I have Uncle Buck.
Oh, that's a good one.
Comedies, yeah,
that's a good one.
I have Uncle Buck, and then I'll finish up comedies real quick for me. I have another '40s film.
Okay.
Arsenic and Old Lace.
Arsenic and Old Lace.
Arsenic and Old Lace, which I would also include in my Halloween films because it takes place right around that time. But Arsenic and Old Lace.
Yeah, I've never heard of this one.
Oh, it is hilarious. It is a great film. So since it's made in the 40s, I'm going to spoil it, but I'm going to tell you basically.
I won't watch it. Actually, go ahead.
Well, you should. Yeah. Basically, Mortimer there, Cary Grant finds out his 2 lovely aunts are killing people and burying them in the basement. So they're poisoning them, and then his half brother shows up, who looks exactly like Boris Karloff. It's a joke. The joke is the guy's meant to look like Boris Karloff. Shows up with his little henchmen, and all this shenanigans ensues because he's actually a killer, and his aunts are killing people, and he's trying to get his aunts into a home, and then he's got an uncle who thinks he's Teddy Roosevelt that lives upstairs. It's a hilarious movie.
Okay.
It's a classic. They showed it at the Art Craft. For those people who don't know, it's a local theater in town, but
They show so many good old things, and I miss them every single time.
They showed it at Halloween one year, and I missed it, but I would go see it. It's one of my favorite films. Anyway, those are my comedies. But
okay, Yeah, I completely spaced. I probably would put Breakfast Club in my comedies too.
Yes.
I like Breakfast Club quite a bit.
That could go
That's-
drama or comedy. I
Yeah.
could go in either one. But yeah, you got to go back. Like, you can go back to old comedies like Duck Soup,
Never, I know what that is because you
Mark-
told me about
Marx
it, but I've never
Brothers.
seen it.
Rufus T. Fire. We're trapped.
Yeah.
3 men, 1 woman. Send help.
Yeah.
If you can't send help, send more women.
It's like, yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about.
That's a joke
But,
for the movie.
yeah, there's so many old ones I need to see.
Yes,
There's
so
too many.
There's too many. All right, so we on to dramas.
Yeah, so dramas I went crazy.
Yeah, I kind of
because I think
went off
dramas
the rails a little bit myself. but
dramas are I think like the best movies
yeah,
because you can have
agreed.
like comedy in there as well, but it's all dark material, which is real life.
or serious material or
Yeah,
real
yeah.
life show. Yes.
Serious is a better word. There you
Yes, go ahead.
go. I got Prisoners.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like Hugh Jackman's best performance.
Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal nails
Yeah.
it. Beautiful.
Yeah. His
Great
hair
movie.
his hair's awesome.
Yeah, his hair's awesome.
Yeah. And
Twitching.
I feel like Denis knew his hair was awesome because it's every 2 scenes they're zooming in on his
And
hair
he
or
was,
something.
isn't Paul Dano in that too? Is
Yeah.
the guy?
Yep.
And
He's
then Terrence
the
Howard is the friend.
Yep.
Everybody in that movie's fantastic.
Viola Davis is in it.
Yes.
And she's not even like a lead in it really, but like
She's Terrence Howard's wife, right? And
Yep.
then isn't Maria Bello in it? Isn't she Hugh Jackman's wife? Yes.
don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
she's one actress I don't know.
She's the mom of one of the girls.
Okay.
So yeah, no, and great cast, great movie, fantastic.
Yeah,
film.
that thing blew me away.
Melissa Leo. She's the woman.
Oh, the woman. Okay, yeah. Okay, I remember. I don't know. I don't really know her. I'd have to like
Oh, she's a lot of independent
else
films.
she's in.
A lot of independent films. She's a great actress.
Leo. You said?
Yeah, Melissa Leo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
there
it
are a
is.
lot of movies, and she's a great. She's on.
Oh, she's in the
Equalizer.
Fighter.
Yeah, she's in the Fighter. She's the mom. She's in the Equalizer films.
London Has Fallen,
She's
which
in a
wasn't
movie called Frozen. Is it Frozen River? Frozen River, right there. Frozen River.
Okay.
She's in that. She's great in that. She's a great act. She's in Flight.
Okay.
Very small part in Flight. She's a great actress.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. But she's that whole Prisoners nail. That's a great choice.
Phenomenal. Yeah, I
Great
love it.
choice. Obviously, I've got The Godfather.
Okay. I told you the other day. I saw it one time. I need to rewatch it, and then I've never seen the second.
Well, yeah,
so.
you got to watch 1 and 2. 1 and 2 together. You got to watch them together. Spend a day.
Are you a 3 hater or you enjoyed it? Still?
I hated
know.
it when I first saw it, but now that I've watched it again, I kind of get it. It's not as good. I don't think it. I think they never should have done it. If you ask my honest opinion, they shouldn't have done it. But to go back and watch it again, I don't hate it as much. It grew on me, but first 2 are incredible films.
I definitely need to. Once again, too many old movies.
Yeah. What else you got?
I got Good Will Hunting.
Agree.
Yeah, one of the
that
greatest.
almost
coming
made
of
my
age.
list, but I told you I replaced it with The Deer Hunter.
Yes. Yeah.
With The Deer Hunter in place of Good Will Hunting, but I would take either one of them.
Deer Hunters, like I was telling you too when you mentioned that earlier, is that scene, the Russian roulette scene. All of them, every single time, it's so tense. It's crazy. Like those are the best scenes of the movies.
Yeah, that whole movie in itself. So yeah,
that was an interesting one because I feel like I had a really long runtime and the way it bounced around doing stuff was like I was like, where's this going?
yeah, it's hard to figure out. You can walk away from that movie going, what was that about? What would I just see?
Mhm.
You know, if you can walk away thinking like, oh, okay, what did I just see here? What just happened?
Yeah.
What happened at the end? I mean, the end.
Yeah,
You-
because that one's worth it. For
No,
people
not
that
even
did
not
it.
even that part. Just the very end.
Mhm.
When they're all together, and spoiler, they're all together singing at the end of the movie. That's how the movie ends. Is they're in the singing? What does that mean? Is it pro-American? Is it anti-American? Is it anti-war? What does that mean? A lot of people are torn about. A lot of people were offended by that at the end of that film. Like,
Okay.
because it's clearly an anti-war film, right? Or is
Yeah,
it?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
But
When
it
you're
is.
watching it, it's like, what is it? Like, what are they doing here? Because it's like all over.
Where is this
like,
going? I mean,
yeah.
and yeah, so there's a lot of you can take away the symbolism of that movie and kind of go from there. We can get into Michael Cimino later at another time because I want to talk about Heaven's Gate, that movie,
I've
which
never
you
seen
need to
that.
research before we talk about it. But it's a movie that he almost ended his career and probably did end his career. But if you go back and actually watch it, if you got the cut that he wanted to put together, it's a great film. But they cut it up so bad and they released it and it was a flop. And the reason I bring that up because that's going to feed into my other drama in here is when Kevin Costner made Dances with Wolves. Instead of calling it Heaven's Gate, they called it Kevin's Gate. They're like, this is going to flop. What's he doing making a 3-hour Western that no one's going to want to watch?
Mhm.
That's an incredible film.
Still haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Dances with Wolves? Oh.
Yeah, no. I noticed that that's the one where he's a Civil War officer or something, right?
Yes.
And then he
Gets
goes in with the
goes out west.
Native American tribe or
Goes
something.
out west and meets Native Americans, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay,
You got to see it. It is
I do remember that when I asked if you liked Avatar, You said Avatar is Dances with Wolves.
It's Dances with
with
Wolves
blue
in
people.
space. Yeah, with blue
Yeah.
people. It's Dances with Wolves with space. It's all
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, fight me.
Okay.
It's Dances with
Well,
Wolves in space.
do you like Avatar then or no?
No,
Have you seen the second one,
The Way of Water.
Way of Water?
No,
I
I won't
think-
watch it because I didn't care for the first one.
I think the second one's better than the first one,
Okay,
and it's gorgeous. I think you might like it.
okay,
cool.
Well,
He's-
I mean, I could try it.
He's setting up a pretty interesting world because this next one's called like Fire and Ash.
Oh, there's another one. I didn't know that.
They're doing 3 more.
No.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Oh
of them.
yeah, I have Dances with Wolves in there. What else you got?
All right, I have The Social Network.
Oh,
Yeah, I loved it, and
Oh.
I used to not be like a big fan of Jesse Eisenberg, but after that movie, I was like, holy shit.
you know what I like about that movie is they make Mark Zuckerberg out to be a dick, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
Yeah,
his
it's
performance of that because
I'm surprised they were able to release it without having like him
I'm
having.
surprised he didn't have a fit about it.
Yeah.
But he
Did
would
you see
now.
that they're doing a sequel?
Why?
Don't know.
About what? About what a douchebag he's turned into?
They're gonna show. Yeah, they're gonna show him his hair get curly and him start wearing chains. I guess I don't know what they're gonna show.
He turns into a bro. Yeah. So yeah, no, good movie, good
Yeah,
choice.
I love it.
Good movie. I have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, I laughed a ton at that movie though. Like and like
I did, but I just I get
It
it.
is a
Maybe
drama.
it's not a drama; it's more of a comedy. But
I
that
think
is
I think it's drama more.
stands alone by itself. And I love Reservoir Dogs.
You think that's Tarantino's best?
Reservoir Dogs.
No,
Me?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
To me, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction is a fantastic movie. I loved Reservoir Dogs. My first exposure to him. Loved that film. Loved everything about it. What a great idea.
it's fantastic.
Even though he stole the opening scene, talk about stealing scenes, them all walking at the beginning, he stole
Yeah.
that
Okay.
from another movie. But great film. Loved Pulp Fiction. Other movies, I could take or leave some of those other movies. We talked about The Hateful Eight. I don't care for it. Inglourious Bastards, a lot good movie. Wasn't the all for me. When I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I did not expect to love it. I loved it. It's my favorite Quentin.
that whole movie, I was like, what is this about? Because I was like, I know it's about like the Manson family. I was like, where's this going? I was like, is it just gonna show like how it actually played out in real life? And like, I didn't really realize the Once Upon a Time part
It's a
until they hit
fable.
that scene.
It's
Yeah,
a fable about Hollywood, and you
Yeah.
have to know the history of Hollywood and how that Manson murder affected the whole industry in the town and ended because it happened in '69. The '60s ended, so all that peace and love is ended by this murder, and we get into the '70s, which is a very different time. So it's a fable about what if those assholes had
happened,
gone
yeah.
to the wrong house,
Yeah.
gone to Cliff Booth's house, or
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it
yeah.
Rick's house? It was Rick's
Yeah,
house,
yeah.
and Cliff
It was-
Booth is there.
yeah, it's incredible. If we'll stop there in case you haven't seen it. So
Yeah,
watch
we go
that
there,
part,
but
because
yes,
that's
if you haven't seen it, absolutely the best. So
and just all the set design too. The way they made it all look like old LA is
yeah, you'd actually
insane.
believe that it was what it looked like. Because
Yeah.
imagine how different LA would have been. Been great to go to, places to go. LA in the '60s,
That'd be amazing.
Florida in the '60s.
Yeah.
very different world.
Anywhere in the 60s,
Anywhere in the
honestly.
60s.
Yeah.
Different world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a phenomenal movie. I do like that quite a bit. That ending was hilarious to me though.
Yeah, it's great.
We'll stop there.
Right.
But all right, we're getting close. I'm gonna kind of shoot a little bit faster. So, Perks of Being a Wallflower. I mentioned that earlier or something like that.
Okay.
Love that movie. Not on first watch though. So when I rewatched it, I was like, damn, this is pretty deep. It's relatable. Like school sucks. It's about fitting in. I appreciated that. I'll do two, then you do two.
Okay.
Shawshank. I think Shawshank's a very, very well made movie. Perfect.
I would
in my
go.
opinion.
I didn't put it on the list, but I'm going to add it. I have two more, and I'll give you. Then I'm done with drama. I have On the Waterfront, Brando.
You told me to watch it.
I
didn't do it. I
think
need to.
creates everything after it comes from him. Great guy. And then I have probably The Green Mile. If you're going to add Shawshank, I'm going to add The Green Mile.
I've seen it one time, and I remember it being very, very good. I remember, it's about the dude in prison that
Yeah.
he has like healing powers or something,
Yeah.
and then Tom Hanks, not Hank.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks
is
has
the
like he has like a
prison
urinary tract infection
He
or something
takes
like
it
that,
away.
right?
Yeah,
He takes
but-
it away.
guy.
Yeah.
But he does some other things. Great movie. Watch it. Green Mile,
Okay.
Shawshank.
I need to rewatch that. Yeah.
Stay home on a weekend when it's raining. Watch them both because they're long and you'll be there all
Yeah.
day. Yeah. So that wraps up my drama for me.
All right, I'm gonna fast shoot through the rest of these because like I said, I put a ton of them because I couldn't decide, and I did this last second. You haven't seen After Sun, have you?
Yes, I've seen it.
You did.
Yeah.
After Sun was that was heartbreaking, and that was her directorial debut. So that was amazing.
I have seen it. Yes.
The symbolism with like the dance club was a little like
Yeah.
interesting, which I feel like I don't know, you can interpret that any way you want, but
Yeah, we can walk away with that going, wait, what was that? But I got it. I totally got it. Yeah,
Yeah, the
it's a
movie's
great movie. Very
very-
understated. So I didn't like they didn't throw it in your face what his issues were. but you got it.
Yeah.
Very,
and then,
very
like,
well done.
One of the best parts too is like when she sings "Happy Birthday" to him. I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." She's trying to cheer her dad up, and then immediately, like, you don't even finish the song. I think the scene changes to him just crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Damn, you didn't even let us be happy for 2 seconds." But so I got After Sun. I have this is the crime one I mentioned, Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, good one.
So I think, but like, yeah, it's crime thriller, but also kind of drama.
Yeah.
I have Whiplash, which I think you said you didn't
Damn, you
like.
went off the rails on the drama, man.
Yeah,
We're supposed to be in the sci-fi by now.
Dude, I got a ton more. Okay, let's see if I don't name all of them, I should have put not Knives Out. Damn, that is on there though. 12 Angry Men.
Oh,
Phenomenal.
I
That
totally
should have
agree.
been
the original, right?
Yes, the
The
original.
50
I've never
yeah.
seen the other ones, just the
Okay.
original from the 50s.
HBO remade it. It's good. It's not as good as the first one. Yeah, we
that
talked
first
about
one-
that. Yes.
Yeah, they're just sitting around a table talking for an hour and a half, however long the movie is, and it's so interesting
It's
the
a
entire
play.
time.
It was a play, and that's why they made it into a movie. But it's fantastic. Great film.
Phenomenal. All right, I'll skip the rest of them. We'll talk about those in the future, but I have a ton on there still.
Yeah, we can get back to those.
All right, for sci-fi, what do you got?
Oh, you want me to just read them all?
Read 'em all.
I'll just give them to you. I have a movie called Phenomenon with John Travolta, Robert Duvall.
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Let me try to spell that real quick. Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Look, everything's listening to us, so it popped up.
There you go.
Huh. What does he have? Magic powers or
He
something?
wakes up with this telepathic power. He goes outside at his birthday party.
Uh-huh.
Sees this thing that come and hits him. It's a light from the sky. He wakes up with these powers. I won't say another word about it. Watch it. Fantastic film. Not
Okay.
that well known. Forrest Whitaker, John Travolta, Kara Sedgwick, Robert Duvall. Watch it. Highly recommend it.
Okay.
4.2. Loved it.
4.2 as well.
Loved it.
All right.
Not a real famous film. Most people probably wouldn't agree with me, but hey, you know what? It's our podcast.
That's right.
Love it. Okay, so Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner.
Okay.
One of my favorites.
It's the way that they created a world there that was
created a
so
world.
like yeah.
Love it, love it, love
crazy.
it. Movie that I hated the first time I ever watched it till I rewatched it and figured out what it was about. Signs.
Yep.
Love
Yep.
Signs.
Signs is very good. I think it's either that or Sixth Sense is his best one's probably still, right?
Probably, yeah, I would agree. But Signs for me, I watch it every time it comes on because to me, I know what I think it's about, and I'll let you decide by watching it what you.
I've seen it once, and I agreed with you because it's about like religion mostly.
It's about faith, and not
Yeah,
so much
faith.
just religion.
Faith,
It's
yeah.
about faith. Is
Mhm.
what that movie's about, and the aliens are just a subplot.
I
for
think
that.
I remember who I was trying to talk to about that, and they're like, "No, it's not.
It's about aliens.
It's about aliens." And I'm like,
Stupid. It's about it.
I was
No,
like,
it's
nah,
about
it's
faith.
putting your faith in everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
We talked about that like I don't know, like last week or something. I have not rewatched it as an adult.
Science fiction film, big blockbuster science fiction film, but very good film. And then I have a film that you could call this horror, but it's not really a horror film for what we consider horror films.
Yeah.
But for its time frame, it's a movie from the 50s called Them.
Them.
Look it up.
Was that remade by
No.
what's the John Carpenter one?
That's They Live.
They Live. Okay.
Them is, and I don't want to ruin it too much, but Them is a movie from the 50s. It's got to be
It's right there.
There it is.
Them,
Them.
1954. There it is. Okay. Oh. Hell yeah. That's terrifying.
It's so radioactive stuff in the desert in the 50s, and it creates
Very, very Fallout-ish.
very
like the video
Fallout-ish
game.
stuff. But it's by today's standards, you consider it to be a cheesy movie. But like those old Saturday creature feature shows that I used to watch as a kid, like 3:30 of that movie would be on. And it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I actually think Stephen King even references it somewhere where he talks about one of these movies. Like he loved these movies as a kid, where the creatures created from nuclear fallout and all that shit. But
That is interesting. I'm actually like, that's probably all the stuff you've
it's one
named
of my
so far.
favorite movies.
Yeah.
And it's very for the content of what it's about and the time. It's a very well done movie.
Okay.
Very good movie. So those are my sci-fi films.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, I did this last second, so I put too much stuff. So let me try to like pick and choose here. I'm gonna do Back to the Future. I love it.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
music's incredible. That's
Right.
done by Alan Silvestri or something. I think it's the music.
Yeah.
He also did Avengers. But yeah, music's incredible. Love Back to the Future. Interstellar. You don't like, right? And then we talked about it.
I
You thought it was
I don't
okay.
hate it. it's a bit
For me, it's just a
it's a
spectacle.
bit complicated for me, and I didn't really.
Yeah, it's straight spectacle for me. Arrival.
Good film.
I
Again,
love-
it was a little complicated for me.
Yeah.
I had a hard time. I'm not gonna lie to you. At the end, I started a hard time figuring out what the hell we were talking about at the end and what the real purpose of the visit. I know they tried to. They didn't explain it to me very well at the end.
It's-
Good movie though. It's a good movie.
So spoilers for Arrival. Skip ahead a bit. It like, so you thought the whole time that she already lost her daughter. Is what it seems like. And so this whole time you're like, oh, she lost her daughter. and her and blah
Oh
blah blah.
no, yeah.
But it
I-
hasn't
oh,
hasn't
yeah.
happened yet.
Yeah,
You
find
find out that these, I guess that she's like the best like person. Whoever, well, I don't know if they're called, they study language, but that's what she is.
Yeah.
She's like one of the smartest ones in the country, and so these aliens knew they can somehow see in the future. They knew that they needed to go to her and give her this information so that they know how to speak this, write this language, and she can decipher it. And then while they're doing that, she's seeing like her future. So she does get with Jeremy Allen,
Right.
or not Jeremy Allen White,
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy
but
Renner.
but they get together even knowing what's going to happen. Yes.
they get
yeah,
together. The
thank
baby's
you.
still born. They still lose the baby.
Yeah.
But she writes, because I guess in the future down the line, these aliens need her to be able to communicate with their race for
Yep.
something. I don't remember what that was. I don't know if they explained
Good
that.
one. All right. What
Yeah.
else you got?
All right. So yeah, I did what I did. Interstellar, Arrival, Back to the Future. I'll skip the rest of them. There's more in there I put.
Okay. So,
All right, romance. I put Before Sunrise. That's a Richard Linklater one. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just talked for literally like a minute, or not a minute, hour and 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and entertaining as hell. And I don't know what they talked about, honestly, but I just remember like they had great chemistry.
They made like 2 or 3 of those movies.
I haven't seen them still, but I heard they're all just as good.
Yeah. I have Love Actually.
That's cute. That is a cute one.
Yeah.
That was my first introduction.
Romance was the hardest one for me, and then I had Labor Day with Kate Winslet and Josh Brolin.
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
I have seen like all those, like Valentine's Day, New Year's
No,
Eve.
this is not
Yeah,
that
it's not
kind of.
those?
This is not kind of those Rami-Kami movies. This is not what this is. It's
Oh, Labor Day.
Labor
movie.
Day. That's not the actual Labor Day.
Yeah. Okay. I don't even think I've heard of this, honestly.
I loved it. It was this
Okay.
little not well-known movie. Loved it. Basically, ex-con escapes. Boom.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. Watch it. Good movie.
I love Josh Brolin, so
He's really good. Kate Winslet's Kate Winslet.
he's good and
Never
everything.
wrong. So yeah, those are, and I have a movie called, and I don't know that it's more of a drama. It's maybe not. There is some romance in it, but it's more maybe a drama. It's called Hideaway. It originally was called A Year in Mooring. It's called Hideaway. It's got Josh Lucas in it. Just look it up.
That sounds familiar.
It's called Hideaway. It's
I can
got
spell
Josh
it.
Lucas is the main. James Cromwell. Josh. There it is, right there.
Jeff Goldblum?
No,
Yeah,
right
no.
there. See that one with the guy sitting on the dock?
This one?
No, down there. Right to the left, to the right of it.
Right here.
Right there.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. So James Cromwell, the woman that played in Man of Steel, Superman's mom. Can't remember her name.
Okay.
Super hot. Her. She's yeah. But that movie right there, Hideaway. I don't know if you'd call it a romance as much as a drama. Guy goes into and buys a sailboat in northern Michigan, and spends a year on this sailboat trying to fix it. And
I was thinking of who's that writer that does all the love stuff that everybody like?
Nicholas Sparks.
Yes, doesn't he have a movie with like Josh Duhamel or something?
That's a safe haven.
I was thinking of that movie.
That's kind of a good movie.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I remember it being pretty cute when I watched it.
I'll give up my man card. That's kind of
Yeah.
a good movie. But anyway, no, those are the only ones I have for romance. So I'm good in that.
Okay.
It was hard for me because apparently I have no heart.
Yeah, well, romance most of the time is rom-com. So you're pretty much watching a comedy with romance
Well,
in
not
it.
always. I mean,
Yeah.
some of those Nicholas Sparks movies are all romance movies. Like Message in a Bottle is not a bad movie.
That's
Kevin
true, that's
Costner,
true.
that's a pretty good movie.
Isn't there a Channing Tatum one with like a note on a wall or something like that?
Yeah, most of the movies
Yeah,
have a
something about
shitty
John.
ending. Most of them have a terrible ending to them.
Dear John, something
Yeah,
like that.
Dear John. Yes.
So for romance, I have Before Sunrise, which is I told you is I think the actual romance. When Harry Met Sally, you said something about it earlier. Everybody loves the movie, but I have The Big Sick. I think that's one of the best rom
I
coms
know
ever.
of it. I have not watched it. I should watch it.
Kumail is so it's actually based on his life and how he met his wife. Hilarious. Like I love it. Like he has a 9/11 joke in there. Killed me. It's so stupid. And then Crazy Stupid Love. I love that movie. Steve Carell.
Yeah, Ryan
hilarious.
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
Funny.
The
funny
ending
movie.
is freaking hilarious.
That's a great movie. Yeah.
And then David Lindhagen. Yeah, that's the guy. That was Kevin Bacon's name. Yeah, love it. All right, and last but not least, we got westerns. So your westerns are going to be way more interesting because you've actually seen westerns. I haven't, so mine are pretty lame. So first, I have Django Unchained, another Tarantino
Okay.
movie. I love it, but I haven't seen any of the spaghetti westerns or Clint
there's
Eastwood
an old
westerns.
There's a Django Unchained, which is a remake. So he remade that film, changed it up. But there's a Django film out there from it's like Italian one back in the day. I forget who's in it, but you can watch it or not. I would probably just watch the Tarantino version. Not a bad film. No, I would agree with that.
You want me to go through all of
Let's
them?
go through them now. Hit you with
I got Hell or High Water, which is like a modern western. It's not really
that's
like,
a modern one. Yeah,
yeah.
but between Jeff Bridges, yeah, fantastic film.
Yeah, I love the way it went. And then I have Hateful Eight.
I hate that.
I know.
Let's move on.
Then I just wanted to talk about a western that surprised me, Bone Tomahawk. You ever talk about that?
I've seen it.
That
What a
was crazy.
disturbing fucking
It's
film.
super disturbing. Yeah, like when they finally make it to their destination, we'll just say that
Whoa,
it's
what
wild.
the hell was that? Yeah, I watched that. I was
Crazy.
like, what is this? Yeah, that's crazy.
I enjoyed that one, but
All right.
yeah.
So I could have gone through this genre forever. I left off a ton of films that
I'm ready
a
to
lot
look
of
'em
your
up.
Western purists will probably send me hate mail because I did not put The Searchers on this list, which is a John Wayne film, which is
Is that from the 70s?
no, who was from the 50s.
Oh, John Wayne. Never mind.
John Wayne, and it's considered to be one of the. I did not put this on the list, but this is considered to be one of the greatest westerns. The Searchers is. It's not on my list, although it's not on my list of these top ones, but it should be, can be.
Yeah, but these are our favorites. Not
These
so
are. I
much
mean,
the best
you could do
movies.
Red River, you could do The Searchers, you could do any of the Calvary trilogy movies, War Yellow Ribbon, Rio Grande, Fort Apache, on and on with John Wayne. Well, John Wayne's a whole nother. We could do a whole thing on him, even though you've never seen.
You
it.
could. I would just stare at
Yeah.
you talking.
So my westerns is Open Range.
Okay. I think I've heard
Kevin
of this one.
Costner, Robert Duvall, Open Range.
Okay.
Just, the scenery alone. It's filmed in Alberta, I believe. Just the scenery alone, it's its own character. It is a great film. It's a great film. I had going back. I have The Wild Bunch.
Wild
To me, which is a Sam Peckinpah film. It really changed westerns for me because it's super violent. The ending. If
look at
anybody's
that.
never seen The Wild Bunch, that's a video. That's a picture from the end of the film right there
Okay.
with the Gatling gun. Watch it. It's like if Tarantino had made a western in the 60s, I guarantee you this is one of his favorite films. It has to be.
Okay.
So The
I
Wild
wonder.
Bunch.
I wonder if he looked at this to base it off of.
Oh, just watch
Django.
The Wild Bunch. I have Viva Zapata with Marlon Brando. Which him and
Viva
Viva
Zapata.
right there. Marlon, that's like probably 19. What year is that?
52.
52. Great film.
Viva Zapata. Is that like long? Is that like Live the Shoe or something?
No, Zapata
Zapata
was
the
Zapata was a Mexican revolutionary.
Oh,
Right
okay.
there. Emiliano Zapata was a
Okay.
revolutionary journey. Pancho Villa and Zapata were the generals against the Mexican government in the Mexican Revolution. So excellent film from the 50s. Great film. Highly
Wait,
recommended.
is he playing a Mexican guy?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Well,
so funny.
Back
They
in
used
the
to
day,
do
they
that.
would do
Yeah.
that, And the only Mexican guy in that film is Anthony Quinn. And Anthony Quinn is famous for playing a Greek. Zorba the Greek is like one of his most famous, but he's actually a Mexican.
You know, he kind of looks like Pedro Pascal right there.
A little bit.
Isn't that kind of weird,
Yeah.
right?
Wow, yeah, he does.
This looks like a younger Pedro
yeah,
Pascal.
he does. So I've got that. I've got The Outlaw Josie Wales, Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
Fantastic film. Highly recommend it. To me, everybody loves Pale Rider. Everybody loves Clint Eastwood anyway, but
Mhm.
Outlaw Josie Wales is probably one of the best. And I
Heard of
got
that, yeah.
two more real quick ones.
You can keep going.
Yeah, you can look that one up. Outlaw Josie Wales.
Hey, that cover art is pretty nice.
Yeah, that's I used to have that poster right there where he's holding the guns. I had that on my wall when I was
This
a
one
kid.
here?
No, next to it, right there.
Ah, this one. I've seen this
I had a
image
poster
before.
of that. Yeah, I used to have that in the poster on the wall. So I got two more. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I know that one.
Paul
Yeah.
Newman, Robert Redford. Great
But I
movie.
still haven't seen it, but I know it.
But I got to tell you, probably my favorite Western
Mhm.
is The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. John
The
Wayne,
Man
Jimmy
Who
Stewart, Lee
Shot
Marvin.
Liberty Valance.
That is just, we can finish with this if you want, but there is, and I'm going to spoil it. I don't care.
Is this the one that you sent me the clip outside the
Yeah,
what's
it's
that
the alley
casino?
scene.
The,
So
saloon?
basically,
Okay.
yeah, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and I'll let you figure it out for yourself. But that whole scene where he shoots down the alley and John Wayne's in the alley and Jimmy Stewart and Lee Marvin are facing off in the alley and he's like, Pompey, my rifle. I throws him the rifle and he's aiming, fires at the same time. You get what's happening there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then when he turns and he walks back into the camera, but he walks directly into the camera, so he obscures the shot.
Yeah.
That is one of the,
It was a cool shot. I remember when you sent it to me.
Quint
I was
up
like,
on the
that's-
pulpit in the boat and Jaws, and that
Mhm.
shot where he walks down.
Their
and-
usage of shadows in that was pretty crazy.
fantastic.
Because that was my
film,
first time
but
seeing
that
it.
that's one of my favorite westerns. Just that
Okay.
whole, and for being a John Wayne movie, what's going on with his character in the movie and how he, spoiler, what he, the man who shot Liberty Valance. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend. That's my favorite western.
Okay.
So that's a good
Hell
one.
yeah.
And then we
All
could
right.
get off on, like I said, we could get off on a tangent with John Wayne films
For a long time.
or any western films. There's so many of them.
I'd have to do a lot of prep work for that one.
Oh, yeah, you'd
a
have
ton.
to start watching a lot of films. You'd spend months watching. But
Yeah, I
I
would.
think we kind of opened it up. So yeah, I'm gonna bring you into some older stuff, and then you
Yep.
get me into some of the newer stuff. Because
Okay, sounds good. I need to get you into animated stuff because you think it's kids movies mostly,
I do.
and some of it's pretty good. Like you said you haven't seen like Into the Spider-Verse.
No,
Okay.
no, I was cartoon. I didn't want.
Okay.
But I would do it.
It's pretty
I would
good.
watch. I'm open.
I mean, most of them like most of the new Pixar stuff. I watched some of them. They're good, but like, eh. But Into the Spider-Verse surprised me because like I stopped watching most of that stuff, and then Into the Spider-Verse was a huge surprise.
See,
All right. Covered a ton of stuff.
we did
A ton.
a lot. There's a lot.
So we'll probably end up covering some of the same stuff again in the future.
Well, I think
'cause
we'll do a new
go-
release. We'll do something new.
Yep. We'll do for each episode we'll do something new,
Something new.
and then we'll kind of do a review, talk about whatever's current at the time.
Right.
Maybe at some point we'll throw movie news in. Who knows?
We
A
can do
little
that.
update. I kind of talked about the Disney stuff with Bond.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, I
movie
did not
news.
know that. So good to
Yeah.
know. So yeah, we can do that, and then
And then we'll probably repeat talking about a lot of these, maybe go more in depth. And then I had a ton of stuff on my list I didn't even talk about still, so I can still talk
I
about more
think
of my
we get into
favorites.
we can get into certain genres, we can get into certain actors. I mean,
And
we can go
focus,
down
yeah.
the rabbit hole of certain actors and spend just hours talking about one actor and all their movies. So yeah, it's open to whatever.
Yeah,
Do
we'll
whatever.
try to focus better, maybe. Probably not. We'll probably bounce over again.
It's all right, nothing wrong with that.
But all right, well, yeah, that's the end of episode 1. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.
And there will be spoilers.